Here. Bam, what up, guys? We're live. Awesome.
Hello.
So, guys, we have POTUS for us down in I think it's Florida, right?
Yeah,
Florida area. And I appreciate you jumping in for me tonight because Mia's sick. And I appreciate you jumping in here, man. I've been wanting to talk to you about stuff anyway. I think you got some super fucking hot takes on TikTok, dude. You do some great content. I'm a fan of it personally, So
me too. Likewise. That's how we met.
And it's funny because I like it. Sometimes you just go.
Right. Sometimes I see something that I'm like, people need to see this, and I have a little bit of influence. So
yes, listen, learn,
right.
Listen and learn. I like that. Those are actually some of the best ones to me. You're just kind of like,
Right. I'm gonna. I don't have anything better to add. I just need y'all to listen.
Yeah, exactly. And lift people up.
Right.
Lift them up, man. I love it.
Right. Help that algorithm so that they can keep getting,
absolutely
more views and man.
Totally. Got to help people. Speaking of people, Carnage is in the house. She says POTUS for us is the shit.
Oh, hey, thanks, Carnage. Appreciate you.
Yes. But yeah, so we'll go oil Olympics passports.
Okay.
Sound
oil
good?
Olympics passports. That sounds good.
All right. So let me pull that thing up so I know what the fuck I'm talking about here. I'm on the passport one first. Where's the oil?
So we're gonna go on a website. It's stopline3.org.
Yep.
They basically. Sorry, go ahead.
I had that pulled up already.
Perfect. And just so like the viewers know, there's the pipeline 3, and then there's also line 5. We're gonna go into line 3, and line 5 is basically copy and paste. This is what these conglomerates are doing. And I went to Standing Rock, so I got a little bit of experience with the modus operandi. Basically, what these companies do is they work it into their business structure. So it's the cost of doing business. By the time our government steps in and says we're going to sue you for X amount of millions and millions of dollars, they're like, all right, cool, we already made a few billion, so who cares?
Yes. So guys, we have the stopline3.org, and the other one is oilandwaterdon'tmix.org. And that's the pipeline 5, the 5 pipeline.
Right. You guys gotta check those out.
Yes. So I will have those in the description box once we do the clips. I'll clip this out later and put all of our links to all of our sources in the description box. That way people have a problem what we say, they can go check they can reference.
Right.
No, we ain't making shit up.
Right.
This is the facts that we have, So, and if you guys have better facts, send us something. We'll talk about it, But yeah, so let's jump into this. All right, guys, let's see if we can change some minds tonight. So tonight we're talking about the stopline3.org website and how they're going to pretty much try to pollute our country willy-nilly with no repercussions. So I'm going to show you guys the website here. So there's actually, it's a great, so this kind of tells you what it's about. There's a pretty good video here as well. I'll tell you guys that I watched it already about the whole history of it. So if you guys want to follow along, you can. It shows the map. Oh, shit. It shows the map and all the treaties they're breaking.
Correct.
To get through this.
And that's it. Is that what body of water is that?
This is Lake Superior.
Lake Superior.
Of the Great Lakes.
Literally tens of millions of people get their drinking water from there.
Yes. So this pipeline wants to break 1, 2, 3, 4 treaties just in the United States. I don't know what's going on here. The rest of this is Canada, guys. This comes from way the hell over here in Edmonton.
Right.
All the way through here to Lake Superior. Why does it got to go to the water? I don't know.
Right.
There's some kind of logistical reason for shipping probably, but fuck off.
Right. And then the thing is that it's not a matter of if they break, it's when, and that's the thing that a lot of people can't wrap their heads around. They're like, oh, well, technology and this, that, the other, and it's better. This one's better than the last one. It's just like they keep kind of feeding us that story, and these pipelines keep having problems and leaking thousands and thousands, sometimes millions of gallons of, it's not just like crude oil. It's stuff that has like fracking fluid in it and all kinds of carcinogens, stuff that you definitely don't want in your drinking water. You know what I mean?
Yep.
And we got to get there. We got to get to the point where we actually we care enough to change not only our minds but change other people's minds by talking about it, by spreading, information.
Yep. So go ahead and share what you know about Pipeline 3 and why we got to stop that son of a bitch.
All right, I'm gonna read right off the website just in case y'all haven't gone there yet. Basically, this is what the website says. What is Line 3? Line 3 is a proposed pipeline expansion to bring nearly 1 million barrels of tar sands per day from Alberta, Canada to Superior, Wisconsin. Remember, right next to Lake Superior. It was proposed in 2014 by Enbridge, a Canadian pipeline company responsible for the largest inland oil spill in the U.S. Not in Canada, in the U.S. That's where it spilled the oil. Enbridge seeks to build a new pipeline corridor through untouched wetlands and the treaty territory of, and I'm sorry if I mispronounced this, Anishinaabe. Sorry if I mispronounced that. Peoples, through the Mississippi River headwaters to the shore of Lake Superior. So, again, oil and water don't mix, just like the other website. This is just goofiness. I mean, like, I think that the next species of humankind that like inhabits the earth is going to go, wow, these people were really dumb. These like the species was dumb. They were like, yeah, let's just keep messing with the environment. Let's do that. Let's mess with our drinking water. Let's do that.
Well, something very important in there, guys. It crosses the Mississippi, the largest north-south river that goes from the Gulf of Mexico to Canada. Hey, to the Great Lakes. Hey, let's fuck that up.
Yes.
Like, we're just looking for shit to fuck up with one pipeline, guys. It crosses many, many, many watersheds.
Right.
All the
How many eyes in the Mississippi River? There's one extra one. I don't know why we're doing this.
Yes. Yes. And again, to Lake Superior, one of the 5 lakes that are freshwater, the largest freshwater reservoir on planet Earth. I live 7 miles from Lake Michigan. This affects me directly. It affects all of us directly. But like, I could smell it if it happens here.
Right.
And this company Enbridge has happened here. In
the largest inland.
Yes, in Kalamazoo, Michigan, in 2010, they had an 18-inch rupture on a pipeline, and it dumped. I got this pulled up somewhere. It dumped. There it is.
What's crazy too is they say that it's not about the safe transportation of a necessary product, but it's about the expansion of the dying tar sands. Right. And it's I think the whole. I think the whole industry is a dying industry. I mean, the fact that we're so desperate for this dirty fossil fuel that we're like, what we should do? We should be drilling more in the ocean. And then they burst, and then they put disbursements in the water so you can't see the oil, but it's still pumping out all of these carcinogen, all this dirty fossil fuel into the ocean where animals are dying. It's crazy.
Well, don't forget, guys, the ocean was on fire this year.
Yes, remember that? It was on fire.
I didn't know that was real for like the whole day. I thought that's a fucked up, pretty cool special.
Right, you're like, nah, that's a filter.
I thought it was a movie trailer. You know what I mean? I thought it was like a movie trailer. I was like, well, that's weird. And I just kept scrolling. I was like, that was fucked up. Well, that was crazy. Right. Then I was like, that's fucking real? Holy shit. That's happening right now. It's killing off billions of animals.
Yeah.
Coral reefs, natural habitats gone.
It's destroying the ecosystem in the ocean. I mean, it's horrible.
Yeah. And so I want to show you guys here what I was talking about. In Michigan in 2010, 10 years later, it says 840,000 gallons of crude oil spilled in a Talmadge Creek 40 miles down from Kalamazoo. This is like 45 minutes from my house, guys.
Whoa.
It took them for fucking ever to clean that shit up.
Right.
And this is an article about this guy who was he's a veterinarian and he's a big canoeer. He couldn't go in the goddamn river for quite some time because it's oil, literal oil flowing down the river. And it says, they've done a lot of cleanup, but the problem is they got fined for a couple $100 million, right?
Right.
Okay. Right. They already made like $70 billion off.
Right. They come to doing business. They don't care. They get a slap on the wrist.
I would take those odds.
That's like somebody saying to you, "Hey, listen, you murdered all of these people, so you got to give me $1.50."
You got to serve 30 days in jail.
What's going to be your incentive to stop that behavior?
Mm-hmm.
You know, it's like nobody goes to jail. Nobody. I think that what they should do is find them more than what they make on the pipeline. That would make more sense to me.
100%.
Say, oh, you make $70 billion? Okay, your fine is $180 billion. They'd stop that right away.
Hey, guess what shareholders would do? Their butts would pucker up.
Yeah.
Their butts would be water goddamn tight. They're like,
huh? What?
Gone. Investors gone. Company over. De-incentivized.
Right. Right.
So the whole point of incentivizing proper behavior with legislation, which includes lawsuits, which includes environmental protective agency doing their job, the EPA. They got to do their job, man. And so in that article, it mentions there's 900 known infractions on that pipeline.
Right.
Now that they want to abandon and build a new one.
Right.
And cross more territories
and pollute more areas.
Pollute more land.
Exactly. It's insane. And what's weird is that, like, one of the things that I'm always pushing for is the hemp resolution on Facebook. It's something that I authored. And basically that says that, you know, if we really wanted to, we could scale up the production of hemp fuel. Every car made after 1995 has a computer in it that regulates the mixture of oxygen and fuel.
Yes.
We can literally reprogram it so that it can run on biofuel, on biodiesel, on whatever.
Yep.
And if we created the initiative, which is the hemp resolution, and we put that into practice and scaled it up, we could produce hemp fuel in skyscrapers. This is an interesting fact. I think I've mentioned this before. A skyscraper in New York is considered a success if it has anywhere between 30 to 50% occupancy. That means half that building is empty, and that's considered a success. So imagine if we decided, you know what, instead of bailing out bankers, instead of funding more war, we're going to go ahead and create money out of thin air like we like to do, and instead we're going to lease space in these high-rise buildings, pay people to move so we can get consecutive floors, and then have hydroponic farms that are vertical, and every 45 days produce 40,000 gallons worth of clean gasoline, hemp fuel, and end our dependency on fossil fuel. If we did that in every local town, it would also improve the economy of every city, every town, every rural county, because they would produce it in their own space. You wouldn't have to ship it overseas. You wouldn't have to drill in the ocean. You wouldn't have to go to the sand, the what is it, the sand
tar.
Right, the sand tars. I mean, it makes sense. The reason why it doesn't happen is because these companies have all these resources and they have a monopoly on the industry, and they don't want to let it go. They do not want to let it go. I mean, I remember when we were talking about ethanol.
Yep.
Remember ethanol you can get from potatoes, and they were like, "Nah, we can't do that. We don't need the infrastructure for that. We don't want that. That's crap. It's terrible. It's garbage." And then, lo and behold, we're still on fossil fuel. We're still having problems with it. Why?
Yep.
You know. And so, what is it? The definition of insanity?
Doing the same thing and expect different results.
Hello, where we at?
Yeah, man.
You know what I mean? So
think about this. We're trying to get the Canadian pipeline through our clean water sources.
Right.
Because, like you said earlier, water is life. Period. There is no life where there is no water, guys. That's just the way it works. So if we pollute all of our water, meanwhile, Joe Biden just signed legislation saying we should have 100% of the cars should be electric by 2035 or some shit for government vehicles. I think it was like that kind of initiatives we need more of. I'll give Joe Biden props for that. That's a great move. But it's not enough.
Right. I mean, and I also give it pushback because, like, this is an actual statistic. 60% of our grid energy comes from fossil fuel. 20% comes from what is it?
Renewables,
No,
nuclear,
well, yeah, 20% renewable, and then the other 20% is nuclear.
nuclear. Yeah.
So if we can shift that from 60% renewable, then we're talking, you know. But if we don't decide to make that shift, then we're just kind of hiding the problem.
I'm more pro nuclear in that regards because the technology's not there for renewables yet.
I think it is. We just have to build it out, you know. But we can agree to disagree. You know?
The problem with us in America, specifically America, this is an American problem, is usage. We consume too much electricity.
Right.
And the problem with solar, because I have a friend down in Indiana, that's what he does for a living. He said the problem is, what do you do with it in 15, 20 years? There's no recycling plan yet. Yet there'll be a whole industry they'll create for that.
Right.
But to me, nuclear is the stopgap, if you will, of thorium reactors, which can't melt down. That's the big difference. Cannot melt down. If it starts breaking down the sequence, you do a salt water flush, the ionization stops the chain, and you just start it over. That's it, right? So it cannot overload.
I don't know much about that, so I'd have to definitely look into that. But it's good information.
Yeah, I did an interview with a guy called Ian the Thorium Guy. That's his name on Twitter, and he's actually a nuclear. He's a physicist, nuclear physicist. He's going back to school to get his PhD in thorium reactor. Like he's a research and development guy. So they're trying to fine tune thorium reactors, and if we do that, dude, if the United States can be the leader in that, we can help get every single country. Think about this, capitalist. You want to be the best fucking capitalist? Get thorium reactors online, baby. We're set. Because then you can shut down all the coal producing places in the world.
Right.
We'll outcompete them with clean energy.
Right.
Because nuclear is the most clean energy we have outside of a fucking meltdown, which is rare, right? And I live by two. There's two nuclear reactors on Lake Michigan. Wow. One is 7 miles north of me, and one's about 45 miles south of me. I'm in the you're dead zone if shit goes south.
Right. You're downwind.
I'm in every direction of wind. There's one north and south of me. So if that thing melts down, I'm in Fucksville.
You're in the red zone.
I'm definitely in the red zone. I'll get a phone call, that's for sure. Mr. Littlefield, just you're fucked. So have a good one.
There you go, right? Are you glowing yet?
Yeah. Do your balls tingle? There's a reason your swimmers are freaking out, bro. But yeah, I think the long-term goal is 100% green energy renewables.
Right.
But right now, we don't have enough infrastructure to support that.
Well, that's what the hemp resolution proposes, is that we actually create an economy based on our renewable grid.
I love it. I want to talk more about that in the future.
The first car ever produced in America by Henry Ford was the Model T. It was made to run on hemp fuel because it was so accessible. Mm-hmm. And the Rockefeller, right? Yep. The American Petroleum Company of America, whatever it was, decided, you know what, we're going to make a deal, basically a monopoly, with Henry Ford. And like, every car you produce has to run on this specific type of fuel. So you got to change the combustion, formula. He's like, okay, cool. I mean, hey, I don't care. Because one thing Henry Ford was, more than anything, is greedy. Oh. You know what I mean? Yeah. So that's the route we took, and here we are, 100 years later, and we're still fighting with these big petroleum companies. There's literally, I think, 4.
Yeah, and they're killing us.
Yeah, I mean, if that's not a monopoly, I don't know what is. You know what I mean? Yeah. You only have 4 companies that own an entire resource.
Yep.
I mean, imagine if that was the case for anything else. You imagine if there was only 4 pencil companies. You'd be like, okay, that's kind of weird.
That's an expensive fucking pencil too. Let me tell you.
Yeah, right.
they're gonna bump that up.
Exactly.
But yeah, guys. So check out.
This big.
Yeah, and you have to keep reusing it. It's illegal for you to make your own pencils. All the legislative protections I'll put in there. So, guys, the big thing is stopline3.org, and then oil and water don't mix. Oh shit, where'd they go? oilandwaterdon'tmix.org. So those are the 2 that we're going to be having. And I'll put that in the clip in the description box. You guys can read more about this. There's a great video you should watch. I can't play their content. It's their that's their protected information. There is their video. Go watch their video in there. I'll provide a link in that as well. And and also guys, POTUSforUs.com.
Oh, nice.
And that's where you have the resolution at, right? On your website?
Actually, that's where my merch is. That hemp Facebook.com/hemp resolution. That's where you find the hemp resolution. But this is like where you find my merch, where you like help support me.
Yes.
You know what I mean? Buy a mug, start your day with me, you know.
There we go. So we're gonna add that one. Facebook.com/hemp resolution. I gotta go check that out, man. I need to know more information.
/hemp resolution. That's correct.
Yep. So guys, definitely check them out. Support. Wait, that way. There it is.
Yeah, no, I'm doing the same thing.
But yeah, guys, definitely support. And again, on TikTok as well. POTUS for Us on TikTok. Killing it. Hot takes, man. So guys, thanks again for joining us, and go read a book. And that's the cue to cut it. I tell everyone to read a book at the end now.
Nice.
Because what's wrong with that, right? Can't get too many. But yeah, man, we've got some big fucking problems. That oil is a bitch, man. Yeah. I'm all for my life goal now is to get a renewable car, an electric car. I want to go full bore Tesla.
Facts.
Plus, why not? Okay, so let's see here. Kill that.
Olympics now, right?
What's that?
Olympics, is that where we're going now?
Now we're gonna go to the Olympic exploitation show.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, where'd it go? Where'd it go? There it is. Newsweek. Copy. Yeah, we had some people in the comments too, saying a few things about. Here we go. I think it was Carnage. Oh yeah, she says last time I checked, underwater pipelines caused the ocean to be on fire. Maybe
correct.
Not. Yeah, absolutely. Of course, we got no use for names in the house. My boy Matt. Carnage. We got Shy the producer. Yes. Let's see here. So yeah, guys. Next we're gonna talk about is what the hell? Where'd that go? Why does it say it's not found? Sports
and stuff. The Olympics.
Sport ball, I think you said before. Sport ball. That killed me, actually.
That's it.
Where the hell is that damn link at? Sorry, guys. This Newsweek article isn't coming up like I want it to. There it is. Okay. All right. You ready to rock the next one out?
Let's do it.
This is going to be more of an opinion piece. And I'm going to talk about some articles here that mentions some statistics. There it is. Okay, I'll read this off when we get there. Okay. All right, guys, let's see if we can change some minds tonight. We got POTUS for Us in the house again once again. So thanks for your time, brother.
Yeah, thank you. Thank you for the invite.
And before we get started, guys, again, POTUSforUs.com and then Facebook.com/hemp resolution. Let's take care of our energy grid. Let's get our infrastructure where it needs to be. So next article we're going to talk about, guys, is the Olympics. Closing ceremonies have happened, I think, already. I'm not sure. I haven't really paid attention to it. I'm not a fan of it. But it talks about, do Olympic athletes actually get paid? Because they're amateur athletes, except for the professionals that we allow in because of new rules, because people got paid behind the scenes by a corrupt board called the OIC. So we have professional basketball players getting richer. We have professional coaches getting richer. Coaches get paid. All the people around the athletes are getting paid, but the athletes themselves are not getting directly compensated. So in this article on Newsweek, it says quantifying the amount U.S. athletes makes is notoriously difficult, as the amount they can take home can vary depending on the contribution of national governing bodies under the U.S. Olympics and Paralympic Committee. For example, U.S. swimmers who are ranked in the top 60 in the world in an Olympic event earn approximately $40,000 a year.
It's crazy.
$40,000 a year.
That's crazy.
And so then the other one is figure skaters. There's a guy named Adam Rippon. He can struggle to make ends meet despite being the very top of his sport.
Right.
Because he's not the commercialized sport they need him to be to make money off of him. So there's another one about this South Korean athlete. Her name's Rippon, a bronze medalist at the 2018 Winter Olympics in South Korea, famously revealed on CNBC that she was so broke she had to steal apples from the gym he was training at in 2013. And so if you get a gold medal, you get a $37,500 cherry on top.
Okay. If you get a gold medal.
That's one person. That's
one exactly. That's just one person that makes 37.5.
The other 160 people that tried to get in,
nothing.
Dickie McGee's act.
They get a big fat donut.
4 years of training.
Right. Or more. I mean, some people spend a lifetime.
Well, yeah. I mean? Well, Simone Biles, since she was 4, that's 20 years of her life. She's 24.
Right. So, and every gold medal she got is 37.5.
That's it. That ain't shit.
Right. Which is one of the reasons why they have to do all these endorsements and stuff. And even then, like, they're splitting that with other people.
Well, and not just that. Actually, we covered this before in Trickle Up. If you get pregnant as a female, specifically females, if you get pregnant, they will drop your ass like a bad cold.
Right.
They will drop you so quick. I think it was Nike dropped one young lady. She's one of the best 400-meter runners in track and field. She got pregnant, had a baby, and they said, no problem. We'll just put your sponsorship on hold until you get back to competing again.
Wow. It's heartless.
So they forced her back into, well, she left Nike. She went to Adidas because they're a little more friendly to her. They said, yeah, sure, but your ass is going to be back on that track in 6 months. Right. Or we're not going to sponsor you no more.
Right.
So she had a cesarean section. She's a very narrow-hipped woman. She's an athlete.
Right.
She's not built for this shit, man. She's built for speed, not for production. You know what I mean?
Right.
And she had to have a cesarean. That cuts your abdominal wall.
Right.
And core is kind of a big deal when it comes to athleticism.
Right.
So we have people being exploited, and even the ones that make it are being exploited.
What's the retirement plan for Olympic athletes?
Be a ESPN.
Exactly.
That's it.
If you're lucky.
Very few.
Very exploitive. I mean, down to like even the workers and the materials that they use to build. Like they exploit, countries exploit, businessmen exploit countries. They build these stadiums, they borrow money, and then like 4 years after the Olympics, it's nature's taking it over again because it's just sitting there vacant.
Well, the last one in Spain or Brazil, it's a shithole again.
Right. It's crazy. I mean, billions and billions of dollars spent building it. Meanwhile, the workers that are building it are working under subpar conditions, making, no kind of money, risking their lives. They don't have a pension. They don't have any kind of security. They don't have workers. They don't have any of that.
All in the name of ABC Sports. And
right. Right. America, and we're number one, and nonsense. You know what I mean?
So that's my biggest problem with the Olympics. It promotes nationalism.
Mm-hmm.
It promotes superiority.
Right.
Of any kind, right?
Right.
Russians, we're superior because we win medals in hockey. Americans, we're superior because we win medals in blah, blah, blah. We have the most every year. China, we're superior because our communist regime kidnaps children and makes them become super athletes.
Right.
The Germans say, well, we give steroids to our girls to make them boys, like they do shit like that in the past.
Right.
Where in Germany, you had women being shot up with steroids and men. But specifically, the women swimmers were built like Arnold Schwarzenegger almost.
Right.
You know what I mean? Like they really destroyed their body.
Right. They destroy people for the sake of the nationalism, like you said.
All because of that fucking flag.
I mean, and to your point, like Simone Biles, taking a step back for her mental health, and she's what is it they were saying about her?
Selfish.
That she's selfish.
She's representing the country for fucking free, pretty much.
This is a person who gets penalized because she does things that the men can't do.
I forgot about that. Yeah. She's too good.
She's too good.
They deduct points for her doing something that's not supposed to be possible, but then she does the impossible, And
I
she's
mean,
penalized.
I mean, I would have had a mental break. I would have been punching people in the face. You know, she's got a lot more patience than I do. I
Oh
would have
man.
been like, "Excuse me."
Oh yeah. I'd have been doing
You
a
know?
tumbling
I
spree
don't
and
know
a flip.
myself. You see how many flips and twists I did in the air?
Mm-hmm.
Are you gonna say? Are you gonna deduct me points for that? No, we
Yeah.
fight.
Yeah, you slobs sitting in the folding chairs. And the
Yeah.
best in the world.
The best in the world
And she'll make $37,500
for a gold medal. That's crazy.
Now, if you're the best at the world at basketball, LeBron James,
Right, you make 150 million over 5 years.
You get a contract with Nike that's so much they won't even publicize it because it's a life. He's the first person to get a lifetime sponsorship.
Right.
The day he fucking dies.
I remember reading that. Yeah.
Until he dies.
Right.
Simone Biles, what'll she get? Fucking Wheaties.
Right, Wheaties.
You know what I'm saying? Like, and then you think of the people that don't dedicate 4+ years more of their life to do stuff that's like something no one's ever heard of, like fucking curling or some shit, right?
Right.
They're the best at what they do. I agree, it's fucking silly, but they still do it. And they get jack shit, and they're stealing apples and stuff, right? So this entire business of exploitation is outdated. It's archaic. It started by the Greeks in the fucking 1400s or some shit, you know, with wrestling on business. So it might not be the 1400s, but anyway, that's okay. But the thing is, it's really old and it's outdated, and it's all about nationalism, superiority, and I have a real problem with that nowadays. Really, about superiority and nationalism, because if you look at something like the international football, you know, soccer, footy, as they call it, that is some of those racist motherfuckers on planet Earth are the fans of the English Premier League. I saw this thing where this young black man was from, I think, Nigeria. He went to England because he's one of the best, and he missed a goal at the end of the game, and they threw fucking bananas at him, man.
Isn't that crazy?
I'm like, come on, you'll cheer him at the bar the following day if he makes that shot.
Right.
But if you don't, you're no good, and I'm gonna throw a banana at you, dehumanize you.
Right.
You serve us.
Right.
You belong to us. I got a problem with this whole industry, honestly. But the Olympics specifically is very, very fucking corrupt.
Yes.
Obviously.
Right. Even like the inner workings where like the countries that are, you know, that want to host the Olympics and stuff, there's a lot of bureaucracy and a lot of corruption in there too.
And a bidding war.
Right. Just like FIFA. You know what I mean? It's pretty corrupt.
Yes. It's all fucked up, you know. But I think that it's time for us to evolve, you know, past that. Sorry, that's my daughter. She just got off work.
Oh.
All right. But yeah, man, so I really do have a problem, and I'd love to hear what other people think about this in the comments section, because I did not watch. Yeah, man. I have not had a single time where I missed watching the Olympics this year. I didn't watch a single thing.
Oh, yeah.
Yep, I'm out.
Right.
I'm out. I won't partake in it. I'm on a strike, if you will, against the fucking Olympics, the whole damn thing.
Right.
These athletes deserve better than this.
Yeah. I mean, I agree. They're exploited, just like, you know, the NCAA, most of the NCAA players are.
Yep.
You know, you got someone in a you know, a $3,000, $4,000, $5,000 suit making money hand over fist while, you know, these poor athletes are killing themselves, you know, for pennies.
Or dying.
Dying.
When I was a wrestler in high school. My senior year in high school, 6 wrestlers died of dehydration and fever from cutting weight in high school.
Yeah.
Not even college, just high school.
Right.
And luckily, collegiate athletes a little more regulated, but high school is not. And you're not getting paid, and neither are the college kids. But and for people to say, well, they're compensated with an education, fuck that. That should be free.
Right. 100%. I 100% agree with that across the board. 4-year public college should exist in America. You know?
Yeah.
We can't say we're the best in the world when the European model says that if you live there and you're a resident of there, you go to college for free for 4 years.
Yeah,
And
man.
here we're like, no, we're going to beat you over the head with
Yeah.
with debt.
You're gonna go into debt like you've never seen before, and don't dare break a leg.
Right.
Like I
Exactly.
lost scholarships. I injured my knee and I lost everything.
Mm.
That was that.
Yeah.
You're no good to us no more.
Right.
Got a Greyhound bus ticket to Benton Harbor,
Which is
Michigan.
crazy because you figure it should be almost a given that you earn this. You literally sacrificed your body for this.
Yeah.
Enjoy the rest of your academic career.
Mm-hmm.
Instead, it's like, oh, you're no good to us anymore. Bye, trash. Get out of here.
You can't make us money. We're not going to use you.
Correct. If we can't exploit you, you're no use to us.
And that's what it comes down to. I started, later on in life, I started looking back at that moment, like, how much money were they going to make off of me? I said, okay, what if you win the conference title in the SEC in the track and field event?
Right. The money that they make on sponsorships and
about $80,000. It's about $80,000 per student athlete that wins.
Mm.
And then if you win the NCAA, now you're talking
millions,
closer to $1 million per win. Per win.
Right.
And so to me, this entire system, like, how do you feel about this? Okay. I think that public sports or public schools should no longer fund sports, period. And I coach football, wrestling, and I helped out with track. I think it should 100% become a club sport with scholarship opportunities for, like, the city should fund it, not the schools.
Okay.
Cities should fund it instead of giving the money to the schools and have them take a chunk.
Right.
A chunk to build a football stadium for $400,000.
Right.
And then have your football team suck ass. Suck ass bad locally. Not even like filling the seats, man. Terrible football team.
Right.
$400,000. That is a bad fucking business proposition.
It's a bad investment. I agree.
And you could have bought every single student a fucking laptop.
Right. Exactly.
There's 400 students in our school system. In our high school.
Right.
$1,000 a kid. That's a brand new.
That's a nice laptop. $1,000 laptop.
That's a MacBook Pro.
Yeah, that's a nice little, especially if you buy it in bulk. Yeah,
exactly. You buy 400 MacBook Pros, and they're good from fucking middle school to college because the MacBook Pros last a decade, man. They're great computers. That's what we're listening. That's what I'm on right now.
Right.
So to me, I think all
that was a humble brag right there.
Oh man, I had to get a second job to buy this motherfucker. Let's be real.
I feel you.
I worked 9 months at a casino on second shift, man. 80 hours a week for 9 months. And I saved $10,000 and I spent half of it on my kids that summer. I don't give a fuck. It's just money. It comes and goes. But when I saved up for all my equipment, I said, I'm going to buy this equipment free and clear. I'm not going to credit card at Best Buy. Chris, kiss my ass. So I think
by the time you pay it back with the interest, you could have bought 2 or 3 of them.
Damn right, especially Best Buy. I love getting that 27% interest rate, But to me, education funds are for education.
Right.
Now, again, I'm a coach. I'm a lifelong athlete. I've coached sports since 99 when I got out of the military in 98. I coached since 99 until about 5 years ago when my kids got out of age where they're in high school. They don't need me no more. But I coached for fucking 20 goddamn years, man. I really do see all the positives from sports, from team sports, from individual sports, from competition. Absolutely. The competition within.
Right.
This is the true competition.
Right.
Is deciding I am good enough. I will do what it takes. That's what it comes down to, right? But not in the classroom. We pay tax money for an education that we are fucking losing the world war on.
Right.
We're horrible. 37th in math.
Yeah.
37th.
I mean, we're so like hyper focused on like test scores and not on learning.
And we ain't doing it well. We're hyper focused on fucking failing. I'll tell you that.
Right. I mean, okay. So there are models in other countries that are way above us in their, national education ranking that they don't issue any homework at all. And you're like, well, what are we doing? Why are we overworking our children and giving them all these, like, for example, my son, I'll give you my son, for example. he's taking this semester in high school, he's taking in the same subject, he's taking like a level 7 and a level 1 because it's a prerequisite. Now, I know from my experience that a prerequisite just means that the school needs to have this many people pass English 1, for example, for them to seem like a passing school, like a successful school.
Mm-hmm.
But you're doing a disservice to the student because they could be actually learning something instead of going to a class and just going through the motions.
Right. That's all it is.
You know, and my son is the kind of guy, you know, the kind of kid that he wants to learn. He doesn't care about an easy A. He wants to learn new things.
Yeah.
You know, so, and that's discouraging, you know?
Yeah. Well, we got in the comments here, no use for names. Of course, he's going to push back. I love it. I love pushback. He goes, I disagree in all caps. What are you, a Trump supporter now, brother?
He's so silly.
He said, too much wrong with youth sports because of club. I get it. It's not perfect.
Right.
But it's not our fucking problem either.
Right.
What's the fucking point?
Right.
We're going to get the kids in hopes of playing professional what? When it's less than 10% go to college
Right.
for sports. And that of those 10%, less than 1%.
Right. Well, the thing too is that like sometimes in sports we teach hyper individuality in team sports. I have a problem with that. You know, I hear too many young guys talking about like, oh, this guy's the best athlete and that guy's the best athlete and this guy's the best athlete. And it's always because, oh, this guy's got the most points or this guy's got this. And I'm just like, you know, basketball is a team sport.
Yeah.
Like what matters is at the end of the day, it's how many championships you got because of how much you contributed to the team.
Mm-hmm.
You know, my favorite player of all time in the NBA, people go, oh, my guy is LeBron or my guy is Jordan or my guy is Magic. And I'm just like, my guy is Bill Russell.
Mm.
And these kids nowadays are like, who is Bill Russell? And I'm just like, well, suffice it to say that he's got more rings than fingers.
I'm a fan. I think LeBron James is the greatest athlete to play basketball.
LeBron James.
Physical specimen. The dude's a fucking freak, man.
Yeah, he is. He's pretty outrageous. You know?
He is.
I mean, don't get me wrong. Like, you know, he's reaching.
Awful.
He's actually kind of peaked already, and he's kind of like coming down. I mean, his age is catching up to him and stuff.
Yeah.
God bless him. But even at what 36, I think he is now, or 30, or almost 37. I mean, he's amazing.
He's been in the sport for 18 years.
Isn't that crazy?
Half of his adult life. Half of his life, I mean, is
like an actual, like he's going to retire in like an actual job.
Like we should.
Right.
He's in a union.
Yeah.
I'm not. I'm not retiring at 45. You know, it's just not happening.
We should all be in a union, though, don't you think? I mean, that's what it says in the preamble to the Constitution.
Let me tell you, I have a hot take for everyone. In Boyce Littlefield's perfect world, I'm the president and I have a magic wand.
Okay.
Right? I have the power of all three. I can make this happen. If you trade your stock on the public stock market, you must be unionized first to go public.
Okay.
Period.
Okay.
Facebook, Pepsi, Walmart, all y'all motherfuckers have to be unionized to exploit our labor.
Right.
To profit your shareholders. And your board must have 50% union representation on the board. That's called socialism, guys. I'm actually okay with some of these concepts of worker-owned rights, right? So I think it's Denmark. You have to have 50% of your board is worker represented. Yeah, employee represented. Yeah.
Right.
So equal voice. Not one, not the not the president of the union.
Right.
Half.
And everybody has a say, you know. Everybody's opinion counts. You know what I mean? From all the way from the janitor all the way to the CEO. You know, everybody's got a voice.
They're all represented. Absolutely.
You know, people have pensions, people have paid time off, people have, maternity leave, you know, I mean, they understand that people are more important than profits. You know, we're on the other end of that, where people are still kind of like beating the drums of the profit monster. And it's just like, at one point, is it enough? At what point is it enough that, you know, when is it enough for Jeff Bezos? You know what I mean? He's pushing $200 billion. Most people don't understand what that money is. They just hear 200 billion. They're like, see, he's rich. Why you want to hate on him? I was like, okay, first of all, $1 billion is $1,000,000,000. That sounds like a made up number that you make up in kindergarten. I bet you 1,000 million. Oh, you mean 1 billion?
You mean 1/200th of Bezos's money?
Exactly. So he's literally got $200,000 million.
He could give away $999,000 million.
Exactly. This man is so look. This is the epitome. This is the epitome of evil to me. You pay tens of millions of dollars to companies to come in and bust unions, right? So that your employees can't get a fair shake.
Yep.
And then you turn around and then you purchase a boat, right? Or you commissioned a boat because it's got to be built for $500 million. You got 50,000 employees. You could have given them each $1,000 bonus. Instead, you were like, nah, I'm going to make sure you can't get a union, and then I'm going to reward myself with this massive yacht to park my already massive yacht into.
Well, yeah, because its lifeboat is a yacht.
Hello.
If it sinks, there's another yacht. Don't you worry. Holy shit.
When is it enough?
That's like a Bond villain.
Yes. That's exactly what he is.
Fuck.
Yeah.
That little wiener had his fucking oversized daddy's cowboy hat off when he got back from that fucking launch. He had that big ass oversized hat. He was like, hey, Dad. It's like a little boy in his daddy's cowboy hat. Just a fucking.
He goes to space for half an hour and he racks up a $28 million tab. You know what I mean?
And now he's an astronaut.
Elon says to our government, hey, I need $10 billion to build space toys. They're like, okay. And then Jeff Bezos starts crying and saying, well, what about me? So like, okay, we'll give you 10 billion too.
Bezos lost the competition. They said we're going to give one contract out, right? Fucking Tesla out-competed them.
Right.
Free market. Capitalism. By your rules, you fucking lose, you little wiener.
Right.
He went, like you said, and went and just pushed and lobbied and lobbied. And they said, fuck it. We found more money.
Right.
We found more money.
It's over here. It's over here.
Oh, look at that quarter behind you right there, son. Here you go. Here's $10 billion. You go to space too, kid. Have fun.
Right. But then you got like the average workers like, hey, can you subsidize my wages so that I can make a living wage? Oh, you want free stuff? You want free stuff.
Yeah. Then the owners of Walmart say, no, actually subsidize all of our employees' wages on welfare.
Right. They don't have enough for food money. Give them food money because we're not going to pay them enough for that.
Yeah. I know, dude, this whole thing's fucked up.
It's outrageous, man. It's cannibalism. It's insane, But I feel like the more we talk about it and the more the word gets out, the more people will start to wake up to the notion that a better world is possible and things will start to happen because, at some point you can't ignore the truth.
Well, that's the thing, though. If we could, which I know is not fiscally possible to say every company now has to be unionized, it's a fucking disaster. But it's a concept, right? If we should have done, okay, when's the best time to plant a tree? 20 fucking years ago.
Right.
The second best day is today.
Today, right now, this moment. Correct.
We should have done this 20 years ago. We didn't. So now we should start today. From now on, there's a grandfather system because they'll never agree to it.
Right.
The next company that comes out that goes IPO, no more. It's unionized before you can be traded.
I like
that's
that.
That's part of your agreement with the government.
Well, also, we talk about, for example, a lot of people keep a job that they hate because of their health insurance.
Oh boy, yeah, me.
So if we nationalized healthcare, people would leave jobs that they hate, and those businesses would just fail the way they should.
If they think it's rough now, because of COVID, shit. Give us health care. Walmart, you're fucked.
I was actually talking to a colleague, and he said, there's a way that we can actually give everybody health care now through the Affordable Care Act. And I was just like, really? Talk to me. Say more. And he's like, yeah, well, right now, in order for you to qualify, you have to be basically destitute. You have to make below the poverty line. If we increased the amount of money that you make to 700% of what it is now, you'd cover 95% of the country.
Simple. You can make poverty line now $100,000.
Right. Or $200,000 to make sure everyone's covered and nobody's got an excuse to deny anybody else health care.
Mm-hmm.
Say, oh, you make $200,000 and you hate poor people? Well, guess what? You get free health care too. Now shut up. You know what I mean?
That's a good thing. I want to do some research. Who defines what poverty is? What
right?
Who draws that line?
Well, I think part of it has to do with like the cost of living. I mean, if the median rent is more than the minimum wage, then we're a failed system, and that's where we are right now.
Oh, we've been there.
Yeah,
for like 50 years.
Mm-hmm.
So I got to write this down. Okay, so who decides the poverty line?
Who decides? I decide. You decide. We decide.
Yeah, man. But yeah, guys, let us know what you guys think about this in the comment section. And of course, once again, guys,
please write up the comment section. We need input.
POTUSforUs.com, guys, and Facebook.com/hemp resolution. Please go show them some love and some support. And while you're here, like the video, hit subscribe. You know the whole spiel they say at the end. And thanks for joining us. And go read a fucking book. Outstanding. All right. So then we got Oil Olympics, and now we got the vaccine passports.
The vaccine passport. Yeah.
People are gonna shit their huggy.
I'm sure.
Holy cow.
I mean, they were talking about this before too in New York, like big time.
That's the article I'm specifically referencing in the Google Drive at the top there.
The New York one, right?
Yeah. Because New York's the first one.
Right.
When Florida should be the first one, considering statistics right now. You know that 1/3 of COVID vaccine, or 1/3 of positive rates right now is from Texas and Florida.
Oh wow. That's where I'm at. I mean, I'm in the epicenter. Everywhere I go, I wear a mask, man, because I'm not even trying to risk anything.
Today I was at the local store here called Harding's. It's like a local chain.
Harding's with East?
No, Harding's, HARDI.
I was like, Harding's? That's a restaurant. What are you talking about? I gotta check that.
Harding's. So I'm in there at the meat counter, just getting me some turkey and cheese and shit for my sandwiches, and I got my mask on. Okay. And this lady's probably like 60s. She kept looking at me and kind of shaking her head. I was like, didn't think much. I was like, whatever, lady. I don't give a fuck. And I got my food and I left. I went to the other side of the store to get some bread. I'm trying to pick out some bread. And she comes up, she goes, oh, there's one of them. I hear her say, I'm like, what the fuck? She's like, hey, can I ask you a question? I was like, absolutely. I'd love to hear your question. Since you've looked at me like a fucking weirdo, I'd love to hear it. Yeah. And she's like, why are you wearing a mask? I was like, can I ask you a question?
Why aren't you wearing a mask?
She goes, sure. I was like, why aren't you wearing a mask? And she's like, this isn't real. I was like, I know it is, actually. I was like, I'm a healthcare worker. I watched people die in the ICU 1 year ago.
Yeah. Give me 1 second. Give me 1 second, bro.
Yeah. To say that was frustrating, guys, is an understatement. That lady drove me freaking crazy.
Okay, go. Hey, sorry.
No problem. But yeah, so she asked me why didn't I, and I said, why aren't you? And she
you had your niece came in a minute ago or something like that.
What's that?
Or no, it was a message I think from your daughter. You said.
Oh, my daughter. Yeah, she just got off work.
Yeah. This is my nephew. He's like, he knocked on the door. I didn't realize I was on live.
Oh, that's no biggie. Yeah, that's why we do edits.
Exactly.
But yeah, so this.
Outtakes.
Yes. Oh boy, you just fucked up. My editor's name is Spider-Man, and he actually does an outtake blooper of every live stream. And so he'll be having some fun. He's gonna have some fun with us. He made fun of me having a shaved head and put hair on me, and
oh, it's hilarious. Oh
no. So
yeah, I saw one of them with the bird that flew over Mutaminia's head and piece of his head or something.
Yeah,
is that it?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, it's fun. I love it. But yeah, so I'm at the store and this total fucking stranger asks me a stupid question. So stupid questions get stupid answers,
Right.
And I'm like, I'm a healthcare worker. I watched someone die at 8:30 in the morning on a Monday. I never forget that shit. Monday, my very first fucking day in the goddamn ICU. 8:30 in the morning, this motherfucker is dead. I watched his shit go flat.
Right.
And that was that. And that was my first fucking day, man.
Right.
I've only been there for an hour and a half. And I was just kind of shell shocked. I'm like, huh. I asked the nurse, like, is that the new normal? She's like, no, not really. But, he was DNR. And I was like, so why is he intubated? She goes, well, he signed the DNR, but then he came out of it. And then he went back under, but we're not. He said, I don't mind being intubated, but I don't want to be, what's he call it? Resuscitated.
Right.
He didn't mind his, they call it the 5 wishes. You can say, I don't want mechanical assist, or I don't want resuscitation. I don't want you breaking my damn ribs or whatever. Right.
Right.
But yeah, so I was like, man, that's fucked up. I just got here.
Right.
This guy's getting toe tagged already, man. So like, I literally watched people die, man.
Yeah.
And to tell me it's not real,
right,
it's laughable.
Right.
Doug says, how old was he? So the first guy I saw die was like 60 something. Because technically this, I can't say too much because of HIPAA, but I'll say is this patient, him and his spouse both came to the hospital with COVID. They drove themselves to the hospital, man. They went to the ER and said, hey guys, we both got a fever. We both got a cough. Think you might have COVID. Check them. Yep, we both got COVID. They get admitted. They go up to the 4th floor. They're there for a few days, and then they both get released. You're going to be okay. You made it. Go home. You're stable. Cool. 2 days later, they both come back. It is really, really bad. Now they both get sent back to the 4th floor. And when they both were there, they both signed DNR then. But the husband and the wife both said, we don't want to be resuscitated and mechanically assisted on that shit. And that's when they signed the paperwork. The wife got better and she went home, and she never was allowed to come back and see him again.
Yeah.
And so here she is parked in the goddamn parking lot. That really upsets me, man.
I remember seeing videos of that, of people that are healthcare workers talking about the unseen trauma of people dying alone,
Mm-hmm.
and also the people that have to hear afterwards, like, they passed because they couldn't see them while they were dying.
Well, it destroys you every time, man. You know the pain they're going through, and you kind of you take that on a little bit.
Yeah,
because you always imagine yourself in their shoes, man. That's human nature, and you just kind of break
that has to be kind of like working in hospice care.
Dude, done that too. Didn't like it.
Yeah, it's tough. You're
you're
there to watch people die.
I get too attached, man.
Yeah,
I get too attached. I was like, nope, I can't do this, guys. I'm sorry. I am not built for that shit.
Right.
But yeah, so here's a 60-year-old person. Him and his wife came in with it, and he didn't go home. And she did. And she didn't get to be there with him when he died.
Right.
Well, what the fuck, man? And so for a total stranger to accost me in a fucking public store,
right,
and ask me why I am so silly and wearing a mask, I was a little upset. But I'm glad she asked me, because I'm the one that can handle it. I can take that shit. I can listen. I've had stupid questions asked me 1,000 times. But what if she'd have been fucking with somebody else,
Right.
That's not cool. And and then on the way home, I'm driving on literally half mile down the road. I'm on my way home. I see a flag on the side of a house that says Trump 2024, and a chopped up a flag that says "Join us or die," with a snake chopped up on the flag. Like,
what does that even mean?
I'm gonna Google it. I'm gonna do a video about that. I don't. But I'm gonna go knock on their door next fucking weekend. Trust me on that.
Just be careful, man. Some of these are, these people are kind of,
Yeah, I'm good with that.
Trump.
Yeah, Trump 2024, an American flag, and a flag that's a snake on it chopped up, and it says "Join us or die."
Maybe that's the snake where he extracted the oil from, where he sold it to them.
All I know is I'm gonna do a little research on it, and then I'm gonna go knock on the door and ask them what their interpretation is of it.
Yeah, let's see, because that's just.
I'm just like I'm just here to ask you about your flag. Join us or die. What should I join or die?
I know, right? And how is this not a cult?
Hey, trust me. I parked my car. I got out.
Yeah.
And I walked up to their house and turned around and like videotaped their fucking house. Like, hey, this is my neighborhood. Look at these fucking crazy people.
Yeah.
Join us or die.
Join us or die.
The fuck? Yeah. Went back to my car. I turned around and I went to go back home. And the guy's on his porch, like, fucker.
That's nuts.
We are less.
We're gonna talk about this. Oh wait, what's this? We are less. What was that?
One more week. And Trump is back. Woohoo! Again.
Back from where?
Oblivion. Bankruptcy.
From his ninth bankruptcy. Yeah.
He actually just got sued in court. He had to give back $12 million. Was it 12 million? He had to give back donations from his campaign.
Oh, really?
For I gotta find that fucking article, man. Yeah, he just got ordered to give it back to his unethical or whatever. You know, we'll go to jail for what he did, right? But not him.
Right, exactly.
Give it back, you're not that sick. Give it back. Okay.
Right. Mind you, he likes to cry about people on welfare, but he has over $1 billion with a B in bankruptcies, which means that's money that he's thrown back on the taxpayers of America. He's got the biggest welfare case in America. Like, talk about, literally.
So is he the welfare king that Reagan was referring to?
He's the welfare queen. He's the queen of all the welfares.
He was specific to women because Reagan did hate women. He hated black women specifically.
And this wife hated gay men. Like, what is happening? You know what I mean? It's so insane, man.
I know.
A friend of mine was saying that we should cap the age that people can be in our government at like 60.
60? I don't think so. I would say maybe. I mean, look at Bernie, dude.
Well, I get it, but Bernie is also like the exception to the rule. But also, Bernie's got some sheepdog in him too, because he's gone against a lot of what he said. He's kind of giving Biden a pass on a lot of things, and I'm just like, what happened, man?
He's cashing in on the way out now. I get it.
Yeah.
I think he's earned it. I'm okay with it. It is what it is.
Yeah.
This motherfucker tried for 40 goddamn years.
Yeah.
I don't judge him for that, man. Because like, what the fuck? He's like, you know what? I have no way. I have no power. I have no way of getting health care to the people.
Yeah. But there is a way. He should have stayed. I mean, he should have been like, you know what? The hell with you. I'm breaking away from the DNC. I'll go to jail for this. But I don't know, man. I mean, it's to each his own. I'm grateful for all the messages that he put forward and, awakening the consciousness of young people. You know what I mean? But
yeah, for sure.
Again, it's in our hands. You know what I mean?
Exactly. But yeah, man. So we're the thing is, the Constitution is designed to have a revolution every 2 years.
Okay.
A legit revolution at the voting booth.
Right.
Every 6 years, we can replace every single person in public office. Every 6 years, we could do that.
Right. But we also have to change the system, or else those people they're just, we're just churning out more and more of the same if we don't change the system. Shout out to change the system.
There it is. Well, real quick before we start the next segment, thoughts on Meet Kevin Paffrath for California governor. I actually reached out to his campaign and asked him to come on for an interview. I reached out this past week, so we'll see. I'm interested. He's like a tech dude. I think he is the tech dude. Is it him? I got my whiteboard. Sorry. Meet Kevin Frath. Yeah, I think he's like this super rich tech guy, Facebook guy from California running for governor. But so is Caitlyn Jenner. So it's a fucking shit show. Let's be real. Fucking Jenner. Get the fuck out of here. Talk about a self-loathing son of a bitch if I've ever seen one, man.
Right. She doesn't stand for anything, though.
Oh, no.
She's like, I'm trans, vote for me. That's like it. It's just like, all right, well, I'm happy you're trans, but what are your policies? I don't know. It's just like,
these are Republicans and these Democrats,
Yeah, right. Exactly.
I still love doing a good impression. Yeah.
It's like a Dick Tracy villain. See?
Exactly. You're good, kid. Good. See? Yeah. Yeah. But I used to do a running joke about the Kardashian family. They destroy men. Yeah. Everyone that comes in contact is done.
Right.
You know, like.
Right. I hear Kim's divorcing Kanye. I mean, I heard about that.
And I just saw Kanye West smile so fucking big yesterday in a video. I was like, that son of a bitch has got teeth again.
Right. Awesome. Well, he was supporting Trump for a while, so I'm just like, I don't know, man. I guess he went crazy too. I missed Kanye way back from when the levees broke and he was like, George Bush hates black people. I'm like, yes, talk about it.
I missed the first 4 album Kanye.
Yeah, right. That's hilarious.
After that Kardashian blood work came in, you went cuckoo, dude. I am a
Kardashian curse.
It is. I really do believe it. But yeah, he says he's got plans. Check him out. Yeah, dude. Like I said, I've actually looked at his policy page. I've actually invited him on. I reached out with an invite to come on here. So I am looking into him. And there's another one, Chamath Palihapitiya. He's actually one of the guys. That's the Facebook one. He was one of the 3rd highest people on Facebook. He took his money and ran and said, "This is a fucked up company."
Right.
He's the one that went on Fox Business and said the airlines are failing. Good, let them fail. That's bad.
I remember that. Yeah,
that's him. I like him on the surface. I don't know what his policy are.
Right.
Policy page yet, but at least he's got the right principles. But outside of getting rich off of people suffering first. But it is what it is. We all change, right? I was a dick about 10 years ago for something. You know? Yeah, it happens, man. But yes, let's go ahead. Let's cover this last one about the vaccine passports. I know there's gonna be a lot of opinions on this one. I've gotten plenty of pushback on it already just for suggesting this is a topic.
Right.
All right, guys, let's see if we can change some minds tonight. So next we're going to talk about is the New York state with Mr. Corruption Cuomo, as I call him now, Mr. Hansy McGee's Act over there, is proposing the New York be the first state to impose a vaccine passport. A lot of pushback on it. About privacy, about freedom, all that kind of shit. What are your initial feelings on this, POTUS?
I don't know, man. I'm kind of up in the air, man. I actually want to hear what people have to say about it. It's a bit of a conundrum. I mean, I know that I know people personally that have lost jobs because they wouldn't get vaccinated. So, there's a lot going on now. There's a lot of what's the word I'm looking for? It's becoming more and more difficult to navigate spaces minus a vaccine.
Mm-hmm.
Absolutely. And I know that like you said, it's a tough subject because a lot of people are like, they're already fearful of government overreach, and like this just to them, they're just like, oh no, it's the apocalypse, it's just like, all right, calm down, you know what I mean? Let's be rational, let's talk about it, like you don't have to go to New York if you don't want to, you know what I mean?
Yes. You have the freedom to leave.
Hey.
You don't like it, leave. That's your guys.
A lot of people say that to me, man. When I talk about capitalism, I'm like, you don't like it, leave. I'm just like, well, you don't want a vaccine, leave. It's like, oh, that's going to be the go-to now. You don't like it, leave.
I know. Or quit your job. No one's forcing you to work.
Right.
I get it. My corporation specifically that I work for, I can't mention my name, so I don't want to get in fucking trouble.
Right.
So I talk a lot of bullshit. Is going to have required vaccines, I think, at the end of this month. You have to have it by the 30th of this month.
Okay.
Or 31st.
What are your feelings on that?
What's that?
What are your feelings on that? On like mandatory vaccines or just mandatory?
Absolutely for healthcare workers. Absolutely.
Okay.
Absolutely for healthcare workers. I get pissed off when I see a fucking nurse smoking and she's working on a cancer floor. I'm like, what the fuck's wrong with you?
Right.
You don't go to a toothless dentist, bro.
Right.
I mean, seriously.
Yeah.
You don't take financial advice from a homeless person.
Right.
I'm just saying. Like,
yeah.
You have no experience with this. What are you talking about?
Yeah.
But yeah, so this is according to an article. I think this is New York Times.
Okay.
And here's some quotes. It says, and to describe this is a quote here. It says, as they would in an airline boarding pass, people will be able to provide their health status with a digital QR code or a quick response machine labeled, readable label. They'll need to download the Excelsior Pass app. I'm sure they got a nice kicker from a government official. Into their name, date of birth, and zip code, and answer a series of questions to confirm their identity, kind of like logging into your bank.
Right.
The data will come from the state's vaccine registry and will be linked to testing data from a number of pre-approved testing companies. New York system built on IBM's Digital Health Pass platform is provided via blockchain technology. So neither IBM nor any businesses will have access to private medical information. An entertainment venue will simply scan the QR code to get back a green check mark or red X. So far, I'm okay with that.
Yeah.
Because the government can't force you to get a shot. Period. They just can't. Private businesses in a capitalist society can. Right. This is capitalism at work, folks. If you like it, that's the way it is. Right. And it's saying this will be supported on blockchain, which I'm okay with that. I like this as a proof of concept because long-term healthcare should be secured by blockchain. All these data breaches and shit, banks should be secured by blockchain, credit card information, all of it, including logins to Facebook and Twitter and YouTube, should be secured to the blockchain for me. But yeah, so it goes on to say a couple of things about how the Excelsior thing. I don't give a shit. Then there's Amy Fairchild. She's the dean of Ohio State University. Fuck Ohio State, by the way. Go blue. And she's a historian and ethicist. Ethicist? What? Is that ethicsist?
I think you said it right the first time. Ethicist.
Ethicist. Oh, fuck off. Okay. Ethicist. There we go. Let me start that over. Sorry, Spider-Man.
This will make the outtakes. Ethicist.
That might, man, like an exorcism. Anyway.
The power of ethics compels you.
Oh my God. The power of compels you. Throw some orange water on you. Anyway. Or pee. Amy Fairchild, she's the dean of Ohio State University. Fuck Ohio State, go blue. I'll say it again. And she's a historian and ethicist. Said the biggest challenges with such certifications will be cultural, not technological. So this is an easy technical thing with the blockchain. She's saying the problem is getting people to get it. It's just like getting a vaccine.
Right.
You know, are you going to get the vaccine? Yes or no? If you say yes, you'll probably get the fucking passport because guess what? It doesn't hurt you a bit. Right.
I mean, you're already ready for it. You know what I mean?
Who's going to have a problem?
If you have an aversion to the vaccine, then I think this will probably. I mean, I'm afraid of like how people will react to this if it, goes mainstream. Because they say this is a pilot program in New York. So if this starts happening all the way across the country, I mean, I can't imagine how people are going to react because people, like I said, people are already afraid of government overreach. Now it's just like, I can't even go to my football game unless I get the damn vaccine. Freedom, it's just
but that's not government.
I mean, on some level, it can be if you think about like, big pharma and like, the major vaccine companies like Moderna and Pfizer, they got a lot of lobbyists in government.
But requiring the vaccine passport itself is private industry at work. This is capitalism at work. Now, the government says you must get a vaccine. I got a problem with that. Right? I got a problem with that. If you don't get the vaccine, fine, but you can't go to public schools. You can't go to the government buildings. You can't be in the military. You can't be a police officer. You can't be in the healthcare. You can't be a fucking teacher.
Right.
That's just the way it is. No one's forced. You have the freedom to be a fucking loser all you want.
Right.
To be a fucking idiot. Go right ahead. Go outside and punch yourself in the nuts. You just can't punch my nuts.
But I think that approach is troublesome. I mean, because you're saying that people that don't get it are pariahs, which I understand. I understand why you would feel that way. I understand why anybody would feel that. I understand it. I get it. But at the same time, like the people that are already trepidatious, like how do we reach those folks and let?
I know. Mm-hmm. Especially very skeptical because of the Muskogee.
Well, and a lot of, people are afraid of like, for example, at the point of sale or at the point of contact, right, when you get the vaccine, it's free for most people. It's free.
Mm-hmm.
But these major corporations are getting government subsidies to provide these vaccines. So they're making money.
Yeah.
You know, and their CEOs are making millions and millions and millions and millions of dollars.
Mm-hmm.
So some people are already kind of put off by that. And they're like, oh, now they're making you get it? And it's like, well, they're not making you get it. Well, you know, pretty soon you won't be able to do anything or go anywhere. And this just kind of feeds into that hysteria that they already have. You know what I mean? So my thing is, how do you combat that? That's the rub.
Well, it's
tough. It's a tough conversation that we're having.
Do you want to be part of society or not?
Yeah.
Society, are you part of the capitalist society we have?
Yeah.
This is capitalism. This is social constructs.
Right.
This is a public health pandemic.
Right.
And so, like I always tell people, if HIV was airborne, would you put a condom on your face like you do on your penis? You put a condom on your face. We call them masks.
Right.
So this is an airborne disease that can kill you and kill everyone around you without their permission.
Right.
Through no fault of their own. So it's on you to protect those that you love the most. Your coworkers, you don't fucking love them, but your family, nonetheless. You know, so to me, you either got to be part of the society or you are a pariah. Just like anti-vaxxers are right fucking now.
Right.
They're pariahs. They're fucking, you know, they're on the fringe, you know. Right. Same thing with snake handling fucking preachers of South Carolina or fucking Georgia. Boogity with the fucking snakes, right? You're a fucking weirdo. You're a pariah. You're nuts, man. You're not with us. You're just, and I don't like that language either, personally. I don't like that. There is no, to me, us isn't United States. It's humans. Right. I'm not trying to, and that's what I don't like about the link because it's inhumane. It's dehumanizing. Right. And I get that. I understand. But these are my visceral reactions as a healthcare worker.
Right.
Like, motherfuckers. Right. If I could knock you out and give you the shot, I would. I mean, I really feel that strongly now because,
like, again, I mean, I get it too. You know what I'm saying? Because, like, for example, when it comes to like Trump supporters, I have family members that are Trump supporters that, you know, I'm obviously not, but you know, someone dies in the family and you start talking to them and you start thinking about like, I love you. I know that you and I disagree politically, and I think that I'm more mad at this man for eating your brain than you. But you know, at the end of the day, I remember when I was a kid and you fed me. I remember, you know, when I was growing up and you gave me some life advice that helped, you know, keep me out of trouble. Absolutely. You know what I mean? Like, so like I think when we meet people on a human level and say, look, these are the facts. This is why you should get, you know, the vaccine. This is why, you know, this vaccine is better than this one. You know what I mean? Like, but, you know, have sort of a nuanced conversation about it, you know, because it is hard. You know, sometimes, I mean, there are times that, like, you know, during the lead up to the election, you know, I'm like, you know, if you vote for Trump, you're just an asshole. You know what I mean? And it's like, you know, aside from that, you might be a great person, but you have these like religious convictions, and you're like, that man doesn't give a shit about your religious convictions. He says he does.
No,
you know what I mean?
Yeah.
So like, you know, with I think we have to have sort of the same types of conversations about the vaccine. It's like, okay, I understand your worry, I understand your concerns, but you know, understand it from my point of view. Like I had a conversation, you know, with my son about it. You know what I mean? Because he's got some, you know, immuno problems and stuff, and you know, if he gets it, it could kill him. You know what I mean? So he was just like, you know, Dad, I don't understand why, you know, and the same thing, the same visceral reactions, like you're an idiot, you're stupid if you don't get it. You know what I mean? Like I don't understand anybody that doesn't get it. And I'm just like, I hear what you're saying. You know what I mean? And it's the same way with the people on the other side. It's just like, you know, you're like, no, if you get it, you're a damn sheep, you're an idiot, you know, and it's just like, you know, we're being divisive here. We need to try to figure out a way to, like, you know, coexist. Like, you know, if you don't want to get the vaccine, then at the very least wear a damn mask. You know what I'm saying? But like, you can't have your cake and eat it too. You can't be like, it's not real, I don't believe it. I'm like, okay, now you're really starting to sound crazy. You know what I mean? Like at the very least, if you're afraid of getting that needle, to wear a mask everywhere you go. Just at least do that, and then maybe eventually start looking into some vaccines. Do some research.
Yeah.
Like, and if you don't want to get the Johnson and Johnson because it was problematic, talk to some people. You might even find that some people have gotten the same vaccine, like the Moderna or the Pfizer, and you go, I'm going to get the Pfizer because I know a couple of people that got the Pfizer and they're okay.
Yeah. What I'm hoping for most of the pushback from healthcare workers specifically is this is not FDA approved.
Okay.
But that excuse is about to go out the fucking window because Pfizer is really close to getting FDA approved. I think what's going to happen is all this is going to be pointless because eventually they're going to take away all the excuses with things like you said. They can require, if you don't have, the thing is, I'm okay with a passport on the surface right now. As of right now, I'd say I'm okay with it. Because then the businesses can determine their masking requirements after that. Right. You can't be so like, I got some laminated bullshit I downloaded the internet because these fuckers are dumb. I got me an official one that says I ain't got to wear a mask already. These people trying to walk into Costco. I got a doctor's note. Bitch, that don't work.
Right.
This is Costco. This is not your code. It's our code. And so I like the idea of having it digitally protected by blockchain and you require it. The problem it does exclude people that don't have resources to a cell phone.
Okay.
I have a problem with that.
Right.
If we wanted that, we have to provide people cell phones, a smartphone, not some fucking cheap ass flip phone most of my patients have that are poor. They got this little cheap flip phone that doesn't do shit. Right. So if we're going to require it, it should be free. Right. And so that's my first caveat is it should be free. Secondly, I would say I like it because if I owned a business, I'm in charge of yada yada store, and I want to keep my employees and myself and my patrons safe. I would like the opportunity to say I want a trusted system as much as it can be that says green light, red light. What's it going to be? Green light, you're good. Okay, you don't have to wear a mask. You're rewarded. You're incentivized. Right. Red X, put your mask on. You can't come in. Put your mask on. Come on in.
Right.
If I see the tip of your nose, your ass is out of here.
Right. That makes sense.
That's all I'm saying. That's kind of where I'm at right now. Superficial.
That's a great compromise.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
So to me,
you still get pushback, and people say, "Oh, it's about control," and it's like, "Well, yeah. Trying to control the spread. That's exactly what you're trying to do."
And it's your private business.
Right. Also, you always have the option of, watching the damn game at home.
Absolutely. You can have.
You don't even have to wear your mask for that.
You can have your groceries delivered. You can have your medications delivered. Technology's allowed you to stay your punk ass home.
Right.
There's no excuses. That's what I'm saying. Like, I can't go to the store now. No, we'll send them out to you.
Right.
That's
why a UBI would be great too, because for the people that don't want to get vaccinated and then don't go outside. Just stay at home for the rest of your life. You know what I mean?
It's fucking pathetic. But yeah. Want to see more says, what about natural immunity? Not from this. Yeah. I haven't seen any data about natural immunity from a vaccine, a COVID.
Follow-up question.
Yes.
What about natural immunity?
Never heard of it. Yep.
Like right back at you. Like, what about it? Like, talk to us. You know what I'm saying? Comment a little more. Explain what you mean.
I've never heard of it.
Yeah.
I'm sure there's always exceptions to the rules, some fucking freaky shit out there. But this is like, there's some people that are more immune to HIV. Their immune system is more adaptable or recognizable to the HIV virus. Don't know why.
Right.
But let's say that exists. just for argument's sake, let's say there is people with natural immunity. So what? Okay. Right. Still, I want you to get vaccinated. Because I don't want no one to slip through and fuck it up for everybody else.
Right.
So I'm a universalist. I believe that all legislation should be universal and not means tested. Because when you introduce means testing, that's meant to exclude people.
Right.
I'm not for it no more, for the most part. I'll start from there, and the exceptions are to the rule as universalism is my primary default for all legislation.
Right.
And the exceptionalism becomes taxing later. Like, if we want to give a UBI to everyone and people on the right say, well, it's fucking conservative, we can't give it to rich people. Fine, we'll fucking raise your taxes then. Fine.
Right.
You know?
Well, I mean, that's the hemp resolution provides UBI for everyone, every last human being, every last person in America, whether you're a CEO or, like I said, you scrubbing the toilet. It doesn't matter. You get a UBI, and the reason for that is so that rich assholes, for lack of a better word, can't say, well, how come they get a handout? It's just like, well, you got it too. Shut up.
Yeah. Well, there's no stigma.
Oh, I don't need it. Okay, well then you don't need it. Well, go to give it away to charity then. Do the right thing.
Feel fucking free to. Here's the thing with UBI, you can opt out.
Yeah, same thing with universal health care. Like the option is there, but if you want to keep your private insurance, you go ahead and you do that.
Yeah.
It's an option.
Yeah. So this person says in other countries they consider natural as a standard as well. I don't know what you're talking about.
Which country?
And what standard? What do you mean? I don't understand this. It's not enough information for me.
Please be specific.
Carnage said, I had COVID in March. Department of Health told me that as soon as I feel better, get the vaccine ASAP. Still better protection than national infection. Exactly. So viral load. Well, there's my girlfriend, Diana.
Oh, thank you so much. I appreciate you, Diana. Your hair is amazing, by the way.
Yeah, that's my girlfriend there.
Nice.
But yeah, so again, guys, all about viral load and also about antibody load. So the idea is just because you get COVID doesn't mean you get enough antibody load. You just got enough to get it out of your system. Right. The vaccine gives you significantly more load for antibody load. Like when I interviewed Chelsea, she was the virologist that worked on the vaccine. I asked her, I was like, if you could pick between JJ, Pfizer, and Moderna, which one would you choose if you had a choice? She goes, the only reason I choose the mRNA one first. I choose Pfizer and Moderna. They're pretty much the same thing, but Moderna gives you a higher concentration. That's all she said. That's it. I was like, perfect. And that makes sense, but they're both the same. One just gives you more. One's more aggressive, so you might have a little more of a reaction too, which is okay. That means your body's fighting. That's a good thing. Right. But yeah, so even though you have COVID, you got COVID in the past, you still are in your best interest, in your family's best interest, your community's best interest, your state, county, country, whatever you want to do, whatever you're trying to protect. Is more protected if you get the vaccine. Brent says, we are here now. We're going to colonize space. What is next for humanity?
For real.
That's a big one.
For real. That word, I actually shared a post of someone who was talking about that. They were actually Modern Warrior. He's huge on TikTok. Mm-hmm. He was sharing somebody's response to one of his TikToks, and it was about that language of colonization, which I think is really crazy. It's anachronistic. Like we need to get past that already. Like we want to colonize Mars. It's uninhabitable. Like what are we even talking about? Why don't we go visit first? Why don't we try to assimilate to Mars instead of colonize it? Like everything is about conquer. We have to conquer this. It's just like Jesus.
Well, think about the human race in historical pretense here. Like we're the first animal. I can't say animal. I mean, no. I'm on that line of thought. But I'm saying is we're the first primate to change its environment instead of adapt.
Right.
We stopped evolving.
Right.
In the natural sense.
Yeah.
I think we're evolving cerebrally, but not physically. Not environmental stress, because evolution depends on environmental stressors.
Right.
And adaptation. We're not doing that. We're not growing thicker hides. We're not getting more hairy and colder environments. We used to. Yeah. Right.
I mean, that goes back to our first segment too. Is like we're instead of trying to work with the environment, we're destroying it.
Yes, to control it.
For greed.
For short-sightedness. Mm-hmm.
Quarterly profits.
Yeah, I was thinking like of I'm going to edit this shit out right here, but I thought a good book would be like, what if no one ever crossed the Atlantic Ocean?
Wow.
What if no one ever got across the What if no one from Europe, Africa, Middle East came here at all?
Right. What it would be like.
The natives came from by way of Asia, right?
Right.
All the natives and the Hispanics closer related DNA wise to Asians than to Africans and Europeans.
Right.
And so I think it'd be interesting. Like, would the Native Americans be incentivized to create large structures?
Right.
To create a metropolis? Because the Mayans did.
You'd be surprised. If you go into history, you'll see there's some places like some pyramids and stuff that had running water, running toilets.
Absolutely. Mayans, man. They were Egyptians.
Yeah. I mean, we like to it's really weird too, because it's a lot of it has to do with ego, but there are people nowadays that go, oh yeah, everybody was like rubbing sticks together and making fires and stuff. And I'm just like, man, listen, a 10-year-old could look up at the sky in the middle of the night and name 100 constellations. How many can you name today? Probably not even one.
Just Big Dipper. That's it. That's the only one I know, dude. Yeah. I swear to God.
And point to it. You'd be like, is it that? Is it that one?
I know Big Dipper and Orion's belt because it's in a straight line. That's right. It. I can say it honestly.
Right. So you can imagine that like a little kid was an astronomer today. You know what I mean? But we think just because it happened a long time ago that those people must have been dumb and we're so intelligent. And I'm just like, why are we so intelligent? Because iPhone. I'm like, when was the last time you built one?
We still haven't figured out how they built the pyramids.
What's that?
We still haven't figured out how they built the pyramids.
Yeah, yeah. And there's also a lot of science that we're still discovering, like the positioning of pyramids, why they point in a certain direction in the sky. Like we're still trying to figure them out. You're right.
The pyramids of Giza, the height of the pyramid and the base of the pyramid
same,
and is an exact ratio to the Earth's dimensions. The height of it and then the diameter, the equator.
Wow.
Exact ratio.
Right.
That can't be on accident, right?
Right. That's wild.
And they're perfectly aligned with constellations, with the north, the true north is what they said. Like, what the fuck? Like, here's my thing. Like, I don't know how to build a house, right?
Right.
But if I was, like, where do you start?
Right.
Like, okay,
foundation.
The corner's gonna start there.
Right.
Put a stick here. Okay, like, I don't even know where the fuck to start there. Why put the stick here? What made me think there? Why not go here? Like, that's how complex a series of monuments built over a 30-year period.
Right. Some of them were built over generations.
Yes, that's what I'm saying. Cross dynasties.
Right.
Well, 3 pyramids are for 3 different dynasties, technically. 3 different people were buried in them. But like, how did they decide? You know what? First stone goes right here. Okay.
Exactly.
Okay, guys. 30 years later, it's perfect.
I mean, and today when we build, I mean, if you see, they have like tripods with like lasers and all that. Like they didn't have any of that stuff back then.
No, dude.
Somebody was like,
blows my mind.
Put it over there.
That's what. If I had a time machine, I'm gonna go back to the very first day they said we're gonna build a pyramid. I'm just gonna stand there and be like, "Why'd you put that there?" That's all I want to know. Why does the first stone go there? Why is it pointing at this exact angle? It had to be exact.
Yeah. Exactly.
It had to be exact.
Yeah.
The end result was exact. Mm-hmm. So the beginning had to be exact.
Mm-hmm. Precise. Yeah.
They didn't build and go,
We'll be here.
They said, get the road mallet. Thank. They didn't do that shit. This shit is huge.
Yeah. This is where we pitched the tent last week, right? Just put it right there.
Fuck, man. That's just the weirdo in me. I love thinking about this shit. I'm like,
that's pretty awesome.
This big open desert. Well, back then it's actually tropical, I believe.
Right.
Tropical there.
Before it was desert, yeah.
Yeah. So they're like, okay, how do we do this shit? Like, I don't know, man. I love it. It's a fun thought process. I call it mental bubble gum. Just chew on it for a while. But yeah, anyway, vaccine passport. That's right. We're gonna edit a bunch of that shit out. So let me go back to that thing. Sorry, guys, we went off topic there a little bit. So this is a quote from the White House of the Biden administration. He goes, Although the Biden administration says it wants to leave vaccine passports to the private and nonprofit sectors, the White House has said that any certification process must be free, equitable, safe, and private. And prevention of forgeries is the key. So that's where the White House is at. He's not saying government because Joe Biden's an oligarch supporter. So he's not going to make it a government thing. He's not a socialist as much as people they want to label him as. He's not.
I wish.
Yeah, I wish he would. So Joe Biden's not saying I want to force vaccines. He's not saying I'm going to force people to use a passport. He's saying I'm leaving it to the capitalist private industries of nonprofit and private sectors. Oh, she's this Hyde Hollow, Hawaii says my daughter actually found Maui's hook, which is Scorpio, and pointed out to me. Oh, that's cool.
Nice. Wow, look at that.
So think about that. That's cool too, because Scorpio's tail was actually indigenous people of Hawaii said, no, that's Maui's hook.
Oh, wow.
You know what I mean? Like the different legends in the sky. Right. I like that shit. That's pretty cool, man.
That is awesome.
Wait, Brent says there's so much prehistory that we are blind to. 10 out of 10 agnostic scientists agree that it is 2021 years after baby Jesus was born. Ha ha ha. Yeah. Yeah, man. I trust me. I'm an atheist, so I go bonkers over that shit.
Little black Arab Jesus.
Yes. He wasn't one of the Beach Boys.
Right. I don't want to upset, any of these white prosperity Jesus people,
Yeah, the prosperity.
No, he was the only European there, It's ridiculous.
Well, I don't see any Peters and Pauls walk around the Middle East anymore, do you?
I know, right? If you look at the ancient texts, the names are nowhere near Peter and Paul.
No, it's it's all in what do you call that? Arabic? No,
right. Hebrew or
predates Arabic. What is that called?
I know what it is. It's Aramaic.
Aramaic. That's it.
Yeah.
The original, the so-called original text is in Aramaic,
right.
Which was pretty much a scroll left in a fucking seaside.
Well, it's been rewritten thousands of times. It's crazy.
Yes, I could do a whole episode on that alone.
Yeah.
But yeah, so I don't know. What do you guys think about the passport? I'm okay with the passports. If I'm a business owner, I want the passport to have secure data because you're gonna have a bunch of fucking hillbilly ass people trying to make a quick nickel off of idiots, really. To make
it says here later in the the report here. It says already scammers are selling fake CDC vaccination identification cards on sites like Craigslist, eBay, and OfferUp.
Exactly.
Chad Anderson, a senior security researcher for Domain Tools, a group tracking cyber threats, told WMAQ, the NBC station in Chicago, some of the cards are being sold for up to $200.
Hey, Trump's campaign is selling Trump cards, so there's an one, But you're definitely gonna have forgeries on this stuff.
Get the stakes, get the water, get the card.
But here's the nice thing, though: blockchain.
Yeah,
there is no opportunity for forgery. And again, I love the fact that our government, who doesn't even we have a flip phone caucus for crying out loud in Congress. They with the idea of a blockchain secured vaccine passport app. I'm 100% happy about this because to me, eventually, blockchain should be a way of us making an online ID passport for our interactions on social media to make people accountable. You make a fucking death threat, that's for real. That's your ass. We're coming to your house and you're going bye-bye. No more hiding behind the screen, anonymity. If you're going to log on to Twitter or whatever it is, right? If you're going to comment in this thing, it's going to require you to log in with your passport.
Right.
Online passport. This is who you are. This is Boyce Littlefield. There's only one of him. And he said some stupid shit today. And he's accountable for what he said.
Right.
Health
I deal with trolls regularly, man.
Yeah.
I get people tell me all kinds of stuff. I know that there's people that will create accounts just to come back on my page to talk nonsense. Because they'll reference the comment they made before, and I'm like, I blocked this person. So I go and I check to see who they are. They got 0 followers. They following
Yeah.
one person, zero content, no profile picture. I'm just like, this account is like 20 minutes old.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
You know?
They made it just to get back and talk more shit.
Yeah, man. I'm just like, why are you stalking me, girl? Stop. You know? Like,
Hey,
oh, you're you. I'm a man. I was just like, I don't know, man. You sound like a child to me. I mean, you won't let this go.
that'll affect their ego.
Yeah, totally.
But yeah, man, I think that I like the direction this could go in a positive way. There's some negatives, of course, with overreach, but right now there is no overreach because this is not government. This is private industry. This is not the governor of New York saying he supports it. They're writing legislation, sure, but it's not a requirement by the government. It is legislation that is going to be fucking pushed back at the Supreme Court level. We all know it. It's all going to get challenged. It's like, this is bullshit. But for every excuse to not get the vaccine, I have a solution to your problems. If you say you can't go in there, of course not. We'll deliver it. Curbside pickup, all that kind of shit. Just like during the pandemic, it taught us. You don't have to go in the store. It's nice to go look at your shit.
I delivered meals throughout the pandemic, you know, and most of them were drop it off at the door, take a photograph, and keep it moving. You know, no contact. You know.
Yep.
With people.
I had some put in my trunk at Walmart once because nobody else offered it. I fucking hate Walmart, but they actually had the curbside delivery to your trunk.
Oh wow!
I went on the app. I picked my bread and my cheese and my meat, you know, for my sandwiches.
Right.
My eggs and stuff, and pulled up, popped the trunk, and I had a garbage bag sitting in there. They plopped the bags down, didn't touch me. Close the door. I go back home. Then I, wiped off all my shit because they touched it. So then I had to wipe down. I didn't keep anything in boxes,
Right.
Just because it was really bad for a while there. So I didn't fuck around,
Right.
Being a healthcare worker, if I get it and give it to someone else, dude, I've failed.
Right.
And I'm not big on failure. I try not to.
Yeah.
I can accept failure, but I'm not like running towards it,
Right. You're not trying to do it on purpose.
If I got someone else sick and they died, dude.
Yeah. That's big.
That's awful, man.
Yeah.
How do cops do it? I don't know.
Right.
How do you just kill people?
Right.
Like, well, he fucking reached for his fucking pants pocket. I don't know.
Right, exactly.
Yeah. Sorry, Jimmy. Case closed, Johnson.
Yeah.
Want to have a beer?
Or even when it comes to the water protectors, how do you do the bidding of these corporations and lock people up for protecting water? Like, how do you go home at night and sleep?
I know. Yeah, man.
I mean, when I was at Standing Rock, you're talking about, being, tear gassed and, dispersants, getting hosed down with, freezing water and sub-zero weather. I mean, it's just like, and you're literally protecting the interests of some private company that's going to take this oil and sell it to China. It's not even for America.
I know.
Like, what are you doing? You know what I mean?
I know.
It's crazy, man.
It can't make sense out of nonsense.
It's sad. And the thing is that, this is what I want people to understand is that, most people are good at heart. The fact that you're a police officer, that is problematic because of the way the system is set up. That's not saying that people that have that job are inherently horrible, terrible people, but that the way the system is set up to basically protect the profits of the ultra rich, and that has to change.
Well, and when you look at specifically law enforcement, the origins of it kind of tells you what you need to know. Yeah, slave. That's right. So, same thing with chiropractics.
Right.
It's all bullshit.
Right.
The origins matter, and there's a book I was reading called "Racism Without Racists." I can't remember the name of the author. The point is, the police department is racist.
Mm-hmm.
It doesn't require racist. The system is racist. It's built in racism.
Right.
I can be an ethical cop and carry out orders that are racist.
Right.
Like patrolling. Patrol that area with 4 officers. Patrol that one with 2. Why? because it is
don't patrol that area at all.
at all. Yeah, yeah. Those rich guys are doing a gambling night that's kind of illegal. You know, like, oh, they got their prostitutes coming on Thursday. Their wives are out of town. You know, pinochle.
Right. Oh,
like
we have to respond to like this, 4-alarm fire in this like really nice neighborhood. It's like, oh, what happened? A meth lab exploded. It's like, who was patrolling that area? Nobody.
Hell no. Nope.
But then you get these kids that are, dealing cannabis, and you're throwing them in jail for 7, 8, 9, 10 years. And then, so many years later, now it's legalized in all these states, and you got people making money hand over fist while other kids are rotting in jail for the same thing. It's just like,
you got people in Michigan right now serving sentences for possession of a legal substance now.
Right.
It's 100% legal in Michigan.
Right.
People serving time right now for petty possession.
Right.
Or felonies because they had 3 possessions. Joe Biden, Bill Clinton.
Yeah, he wrote it. He wrote the bill.
The crime law. Yep. Joe Biden and Bill Clinton, the crime law. That's right, man. So we have young men and women who have had their youth stripped and robbed from them and used and put into slavery legally.
Exactly. That's the slave patrol comes full circle when you think about the prison industrial complex and how many of these folks are getting paid, less than 50 cents on the dollar, per hour to do like really hard work, like to produce the shit that we buy at Walmart, at Target, and, you know what I mean? Like,
yep.
And we're robbing them, because think about it. If you paid them a living wage, like if you paid them $18 an hour and divided it 3 ways, this is what the hemp resolution proposes. Basically, you give them $18 an hour. You put 7 to 12% in the commissary, because you don't really need that much. You got everything. You got your housing, you got your food, and then you send money for spousal child support, and then you put some away in a high yield savings account, so that when they came out and they've served their time, they've paid their debt to society, you have a nest egg to fall back on, so you don't have to resort to your old life. Literally rehabilitation. But you try to explain that to some of these conservatives who I don't know what the hell they're trying to conserve, and they'll tell you, oh no, that's horrible, you're supposed to punish them and this, that, yeah. I'm like, you know what? You just want to advocate for slave labor. That's all you really want. Stop it.
Well, and that's why I advocate for, I think we should have it where once you serve your time, like literally you're off probation, you've proved through various steps that you are a member of society again, and it should be expunged off your record, and you should be employable.
Yeah.
The recidivity rate is not a bug; it's a feature.
Right.
They want slave labor to keep coming back.
Right.
How do you keep building cheap? Why is it cheap to get a license plate? Because it's built by slave wages and labor in jails and state penitentiaries.
Right.
Every license plate made in Michigan is made by slave wages, slave labor. I think that's one of the original secrets of Victoria's Secret is their underwires, their bras used to be sewed at prisons.
Yeah. I believe that 100%. I believe that.
Now think about this. Me and you could go to prison for 15 fucking years and learn how to sew drawers, bro. We get out, we're not good enough to do that job in the private sector.
Correct. I mean, look at the firefighters in California. They were getting paid $1 an hour.
Oh,
to literally go in. What's that?
The inmates?
Yeah, to try to put out fires in forests, like raging fires, risking their lives, inhaling tons of smoke, and then they get out and they're like, "Nah, you can't get a job as a firefighter." Just like, but I have experience, but I did that for X amount of time. Like I know how to do it. I was hired to do that for slave wages. I want to do it now for a living. No, you can't. You're a felon.
I don't want slave wages anymore. Nope.
Right. It's just like, nah, sorry.
No. Yeah, I would like to do a whole fucking thing on that too, man. I've been over that a couple of times, but I'm actually reaching out to a guy. He has a podcast here locally where I live at. He's actually a full-time podcaster, like for a living.
Oh, wow.
He has a podcast called Truth and Justice. It's a very good podcast.
Good name.
He's gotten a guy out of prison for life in Texas for, unjust crimes.
Right.
With a crowdsourced investigative journalism.
Wow.
He pretty much, how do you put this? Crowdsourcing, right? So they upload all the public documents onto his website for everyone to fucking see. This guy gets 300,000 to 400,000 views per episode.
Okay.
We have almost 500,000 people looking at the same documents.
Right.
And out of those 300,000 or 400,000 people, someone finds a kink in the system.
Right.
And says, wait a minute. That I live by that place. That picture's right here.
Right.
And back then, that house wasn't there. That house was built in 2008.
Right.
There's no way this witness could have seen him here from there.
Right.
Like little things like that they don't have time to in the resource to even do.
Right. Right. Or sometimes like it's shoddy police work. Like they didn't interview the right people.
Right. So this one person specifically in this case said, I'm taking a picture from where I'm standing, and then I'm going to take a picture that you sent me, then I'm going to take a picture and the timestamps when this house was built, and then the average growth of trees.
Right.
And show you there's no physical way that witness saw that car.
Right.
There's no fucking way.
Right.
It's out. Then all of a sudden, wait a minute, now that witness was the only person we. Right. Then there's just domino effect. He got this guy out of jail for life.
Right.
That's why I don't support the death penalty anymore.
100%. Yeah, 100%. I agree. That's why I don't support the death penalty. You know.
Yep. I can't. So like, there's stuff out there happening that we need to really. So I'm going to talk to him about if I could give him a blank slate on the justice system, how would he fix it? Because he's seen it on both sides. He was the fire chief too, and he got tired of their bullshit. And he said, "Fuck you guys, I quit. I'm going full time on a podcast." You know, and so like he worked with cops, firefighters work with the police department a lot, right? So he understands that, but he's also seen it from the other side. He's like, man, this shit's fucked up,
right?
And so like I'm gonna ask him, how would you fix the justice system? Or no, let me rephrase that: the slave system of our correction department. You know, like. I want to ask him. That's the kind of interviews I want to do more in the future of getting experts, man. Like the virologist lady, I'm going to talk to her tomorrow about it. Like, hey, man, people are asking about Delta. Like, I don't know. Someone says, how can they say this is a Delta virus if they just give you a positive, negative test? How they know it's Delta? Right. I'm like, I don't know. That's a damn good question.
Right.
Instead of me Googling it,
right,
I'm going to ask the person that actually made it. You know, like, and so that's the kind of people I'm trying to find that'll be our resource that can come on and kind of help us flush these ideas out, you know?
Right. I mean, because, you know, somebody said once, even if, you know, the information is accessible, like on the internet, that doesn't necessarily mean that we're able to decipher it.
No.
You know, there's people that are experts for a reason. There's people that study this and, you know, in depth for a reason. They have this specificity for a reason because they can help decipher what the information actually means, you know?
Yeah. Well, just like that Ian the thorium guy, man. He knows what the fuck he's talking about.
Right.
Someone says, you can't make a thorium reactor. I'm like, excuse me, Ian, come here. Hey. And then he just shuts that shit down.
Right.
Shuts that shit down. Actually, when this isotope, I'm like, oh, okay. I don't know what he's saying, but that's true. Because he knows what the fuck he's talking about. You have to defer to authority.
Right.
I'm experts on that shit, right? But yes, we're trying to build that. We need that type of co-opting, I guess you'd call it, like collective action. That's the word. Collective actions, you know.
Collective action?
Yeah. DRS says, I support the death penalty against child pedophiles.
I only support the death penalty against child pedophiles if it's the parent.
Oof.
You know?
Yeah, that's bad.
Yeah. I mean, if it's the parent doing it, or it's the parent that did it, you know, either or. I mean, you know, whatever. You know what I mean?
No, that's okay. So there
are some. A tough one. You know, that's a tough one. But I don't think that our state should be handling vengeance. That's not what justice is about. You know, some people may feel like that is, but you know, it's a thin line. You know, because that's when you become a fascist dictatorship. When you're like, you know what, just kill people that are suspected of something,
or against you.
Because there have been cases too where, like, years later, you know, the child recants and says, no, I don't know that it was, this person. It might have been something else, somebody else. And then they do the DNA test, and it turns out that it was another person, and that person had a striking resemblance to the person that was
Yeah.
accused.
Mm-hmm. Well,
You
I've
know what I
also
mean?
seen where kids come back and say, "I was mad at my stepdad."
Right.
Like, oh, look, what? But
Yeah.
they're children. They don't
Right.
understand the ramifications of this.
Right.
We still got to protect them.
Right.
Now,
100%.
killing. I understand that pedophiles. That's probably the hardest thing. Rapists and pedophiles, violent offenders against vulnerable people.
Yeah.
I really do have a blind spot, if you will,
Right.
for these things. I'm like, I don't want the state to do it, but I would.
Right. That's what I'm saying. That's exactly what I meant.
Like,
Yeah. It's like, I don't know. I mean, it's tough, especially as a parent yourself. You're just like,
you're
hey,
dead.
I don't know, man.
You are so dead so fast.
Right. I mean, I'm a vegan, but I might have to break my fast and eat some meat because
I could use this literal instant, and I could collapse a windpipe and end your life. Just that simple. I mean,
what is that?
Just a tripod.
Oh, okay. I'm like looking at it like, what is that?
Phone tripod.
Oh, for the phone. Oh, nice.
Yeah.
That's
so when
cool.
I can do that, I can sit this off to the side and actually do two things at once.
Right.
Yeah, I got all kinds of dumb shit. I got a light.
Nice.
Little light. There's my calendar.
Nice.
Light. Then I got my green screen there hanging up. Then my little microphone. And there's me books.
Nice.
The ones I like the most. But yeah, so like I'm pretty simple. But yeah, like I could find a lot of things to kill someone with if you hurt my child. Everything is a weapon then.
Right. I mean, these.
Oh.
You know.
I want something that's efficient, just to be perfectly honest with you. But yeah, as a parent, dude, I'm a chimpanzee in that moment.
Yeah.
I'm gonna bite your face off.
Right. No,
literally.
I understand. As a parent, I understand exactly what you're saying.
Can I come to terms with the state carrying out an execution, though?
Right.
Again, universalism.
Right.
I don't think we should means test capital punishment because people will fall through the cracks.
Right. 100%.
I can't be okay with state
sponsored. But there are also countries that they built like communes where basically the only people that live there are pedophiles.
That's an option.
So it's like a whole commune with just pedophiles. Like, okay, cool. Then you have your own society separate from everybody else. Bye.
But you can't have kids.
Well, I don't know. I mean,
sorry.
Yeah, castrate them. I don't know.
Yeah, that's inhumane too.
I mean, I'm look, man. I'll tell you right now, man. I'm 43 years young, and I've had double linguinal hernia surgery. I've got some issues down there sometimes, because of that. Mm-hmm. I had about 10 inches of my intestine drop into one of my testicles. I had to shove it back into my body. Yeah, it's pretty crazy. So now I have, this is probably TMI, but I have one testicle that's far larger than the other. And sometimes it gives me a little bit of pain. If I have to get if I have to get my boys cut off, I've had 2 kids, I'm good, man. So if that's the sentence for a pedophile, like cut your boys off, then so be it. If I'm willing to do it, you should too.
Well,
especially because I haven't committed the crime that you did.
But the thing is, you don't need
you don't
need genitalia to hurt people.
Right.
So,
But the thing too is that like, you want to keep kids safe. You know what I mean? And time and time again, and I know that we're straying off the subject, but time and time again, it's been proven that pedophilia, or not even pedophilia, because pedophilia is like the attraction to children. Molestation, when you cross the line and you say, all right, well, I'm attracted to kids, and now I'm going to groom a child and then sexually assault a child and rape a child, because that's what that is. You can't really rehabilitate that.
No, you're a predator.
Yeah. So like you got to do something, kind of drastic, like either separate them from society altogether, or, cut the whole thing off. Just tweet. You don't have that anymore. But again, that I mean, what do you that person might still have an inclination to grope a child. So you're like, all right, well, that's why I understand when people say kill them all. It's just like I get that reaction. I get it.
It's
My
hard.
only fear is what happens if you get the wrong person.
Right. And that's what I mean by means testing,
right.
testing crime.
Right.
Trust me, if you murder someone, you took their rights away.
Right.
I think that you do default your rights, but I don't think you default your right to life. I just can't go that far anymore. I used to be very hard lined on this shit, man.
Right.
When I got out of the military, I was like, fuck them all.
Right.
I'll kill them. Like, I would literally execute every one of these motherfuckers myself and sleep really well that night. You know what I mean? Like, I feel better about myself because I've rid this world of a fucking rapist.
Right.
No quarrels with that whatsoever. But now
there's actually a documentary that I want to watch about one of the most prolific rapists and serial killers of all time. And it talks about this woman that developed this relationship with this man. And it was solely to have him confess to all of his crimes so that they could give the family closure.
Whoa.
So when you think about it in that context, it's like if they would have just given that guy the death penalty, he would have died. Those families wouldn't have had any closure. But the fact that he's still alive, even if he's rotten in prison,
man,
there's hope and there's a chance that even if he can't be rehabilitated, even if he's still a trash human being, that these people will finally get some closure and say, so this is what happened to my daughter.
Man, dude, that's dark.
It's mad dark, man.
Man, good Lord.
Again, it's mad dark.
But
like,
again, my religious friends would tell me, you know, the 10 Commandments and all that shit. I was like, yeah, but the premise of the 10 Commandments is not valid.
Right.
They're like, well, what do you mean? I was like, thou shalt kill. Bet. They're like, no, thou shalt. I was like, yes, I will. You hurt my kids, thou shalt kill.
Right. Thou shalt die.
Yeah, thou shalt. You know what I mean? Like, yes, you can justify murder sometimes.
Yeah. Thou shalt be unalived.
or I had a photo I saved on my phone. It said Hillary Clinton request a suicide request instead of a friend request. You know,
that's so funny. A friend of mine gave me this. I'm dating myself now, but he gave me this certificate that he had printed up in school, and it said gift certificate, 1 free visit to Dr. Kevorkian's office.
I'm from Michigan. Actually, that's one of my main theses in college. I debated about was physician-assisted suicide should be legal, and marijuana was legal. Those are my two things I debated for in support of in my public speaking class. They're like, why those? I was like, because I actually believe it.
Right.
We have the dignity of death.
Right. And you know what's funny is that at first, like I was averse to the idea. I was like, I don't know, man. Like, it doesn't that go against the Hippocratic Oath and this, that, the other. Then I started looking more into it, and I looked into like actually what Dr. Kevorkian was doing, and these were people that were already terminal. These are people that were basically living off. Some of them were just living off of pain medication to, you know, be able to just survive because they were in so much pain. It was just like, I just want to die already. I just want to die. You know, I don't want to be.
You had to have counseling. You had to get counseling.
Right.
You couldn't be diagnosed with clinical depression alone.
Right.
And your family and friends, coworkers were offered free counseling.
Right.
He provided a service, man.
Right.
Because in the defense of that, in my speech, it was, would you rather come home to find your uncle's brains on the wall?
Right.
Or would you actually know that you had closure and you said your piece with them? Because that's what it really comes down to. Grieving is you didn't get to say goodbye.
Right.
You have to fucking say goodbye, man.
Right.
You know, like a legit one in a healthy way.
Right.
I think that is the most humane way to let someone go is to let them go on their own terms.
Right.
And they're like, well, you just can't like, oh, I turned 18. Now I'm all depressed. Like, that's not how it works, dumbass. You didn't read it.
That's literally a bad faith argument.
Yeah, that's a fucking weak.
And then look at the specific cases. Don't just assume that. Like, just look at the specific cases that were happening. You know, there were people. Like, I remember there was one guy that was, he was pretty much a paraplegic, had very little sensation in his hands. Oh, nice. Thank you so much, Hot Sauce.
Hot
I love you, bro.
sauce. Yeah. Yeah, go
Yeah,
ahead, Mike.
he was pretty much a paraplegic, and he had like this rare nervous system condition where he had to be basically doped up 24 hours a day because if not, he would feel like his body was on fire.
Oh, his pain. Was it Guillain-Barré?
I don't remember, to be honest with
Okay,
you,
never.
but it
Okay.
was like, but basically that's what it was akin to, being on fire.
God damn, dude.
I'm like, do you want, if you love that person, you want them to continue living a life where they're basically in a coma the whole time because when they're not on drugs for the pain to be subdued,
Yeah.
they're burning alive. They feel like they're on fire. That's a horrible existence. It's like
You
you said, dignity of death. I'd rather say,
right.
I love you. I understand that, this is it, and you're ready to go,
Yeah, you
and
don't want
you've
to suffer
lived the
no more.
life, and thank you for letting me at least say goodbye.
Hell yeah, man. I think people like it's illegal to kill yourself.
Yeah,
It's illegal.
isn't that stupid?
I mean, fuck you.
Mhm.
You know what I mean? Like, fuck you.
Right.
I'm out of here.
A failed
Like,
suicide attempt. You're going to jail for not killing yourself.
I know,
Wait,
man.
if I would have killed myself, then what? You would have thrown my carcass in jail?
Arrest that corpse, sir.
Some of these cops would be like, "Oh man, he's already dead." No, just kidding.
But think about this though. Why is it illegal to kill yourself?
Why do you think? I don't know. Why
I
is
know
it?
why it is. They don't have to give you the life insurance policy money.
Yes.
It's all about money. It's illegal. You broke the law, then
Correct.
your contract's null and void.
Correct.
That's all about money, guys.
It's all about money. Yeah.
Every fucking policy you see is about money. They don't want you to fucking die. They want you to take barbiturates the rest of your life.
Right.
They want you to be intubated.
Well, I mean, that's the healthcare system right now. The healthcare system is like pump you full of drugs. It's like, let's treat the symptoms. The hell with a cure.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. And I understand the skepticism of the vaccine for that reason alone, too. I really do. Right. Cancer treatments, whatever. I get it, man. We have a failed system because it is for profit.
Right.
The system is flawed because it's for profit. It profits off of your pain and suffering.
Yeah.
But
I mean, if you take away the profit motive, I think a lot more people would be inclined to get the vaccine. If you said, you know what, no CEOs are going to see this money, every penny of it's going to go to frontline workers, and we're also going to pay people to get the vaccine. We're going to give you money to get the vaccine. It's like you get the vaccine, you get $500.
If we had Medicare for all,
boom,
it's over.
Yeah,
it's over. That's why I have become more passionate about Medicare for all now than ever. I don't necessarily support the single payer system the way Bernie did, and as far as his timeline, I think it's politically expediency is I think we go public option and then single payer. It's a natural progression. But still, the end goal is one healthcare system fighting for us that will not let them exploit us as far as like 35 times the amount for Vicodins or whatever it is, like cancer drugs or whatever, right?
Diabetes medication, insulin.
Absolutely. That's the one I was trying to think of, insulin. Yeah. It's ridiculous. It's gross. It's because of the profit model. So how do you fix it? Get rid of the profit model. How do you do that? Medicare for all.
Right.
Any other fucking questions, geniuses?
Also, with collective bargaining. I mean, the preamble to the Constitution says we the people in order to build a more perfect union. So if we had a union where we were like, you know what? We want to get enough diabetes medication for how many millions? How many millions? Okay, for this many million people, what's the best deal you got?
No. How about we'll tell you what we'll pay you? That's
exactly.
It's gangster. Exactly. You're a gangster.
That's it.
That's collective bargaining.
Correct.
And they're still going to make their money. Assholes. Anyway, but yeah, guys, let us know what you think about that in the comments section, man. Are you thumbs up, thumbs down on the vaccine passport? I know we got off topic. I'm for it right now because it has the data protections. I also think it should give you a data dividend check off using your data to do this personally.
Nice.
But that's just my own personal opinion. But yeah, man, again, guys, POTUSforUs.com and then Facebook.com/hemp resolution. And thanks for joining us, guys.
Hit the comment section, subscribe, all that good stuff.
Yeah, you know, all the normal rigmarole at the end, right?
Yeah, the thumbs up, everything. Interact with this, please, and thank you.
Yes, and sharing is the best way to really get this thing out there, guys. Is say, hey, man, they went down a pretty dark path here. Let's talk about this shit. You know, like we all have an opinion. Bring it.
Facts.
You know, so we ain't gonna ignore you. I mean, I actually interact with this stuff. So, again, guys. Oh, yeah. Also, TikTok is where he does his shit at, man.
Oh yeah, TikTok. And also the trickle up on TikTok, right?
Yes, and at POTUS for us. There it is. But yeah, guys, thanks for joining us, man. We'll see you guys next time, and go read a book. Perfect. All right. So we have one more question here from Brett. He asked me, what was my MOS and what's your favorite military story? Holy crap. My MOS, I was a signalman, which meant visual communications, Morse code, with the flashing lights and the flag signaling. It was like a code breaking book you had to do, and just visual communications. And I was a master helmsman and navigator, did search and rescue. I've done everything, but it's a small ship, you know. Favorite military story, good Lord, that I can say publicly on the internet. I got to go to see Dracula's castle.
Oh, wow.
In Romania. That was pretty fucking cool, man. Wow. That was really cool. I ain't gonna lie. That was cool as shit.
Like Transylvania?
In Romania.
Romania?
Yep. Home of the gypsies, man. They were everywhere. Wow. They had a dude with a nose ring through a fucking grizzly bear. Like a fucking bear. Like a bear. Yeah. Big ass 8-foot tall fucking bear.
Yikes.
On a nose ring and a chain. And he had a sign around his front like a ad sign on his chest. $5 Polaroid. $5 you can take a picture, $10 Polaroid. He's got a Polaroid over his neck too.
Wow.
And you say, yeah, I want to take a picture of the fucking bear. He'd yank on his nose and stand up and go, rawr. You can stand in front of him like an idiot, right?
Wow.
But I was like, I ain't paying for shit. I grabbed my little, you know, I'm dating myself as well. Wind my disposable camera up. Took a picture. The guy goes, hey, G.I. Joe, $5. I'm like, no. He's like, you took a picture. I was like, no, I didn't. Yes, you did. I was like, no, I didn't. You know, like, I was stupid shit. You were dumb kids, you know.
Right.
But that dude had a fucking bear.
24 pictures.
Yeah, man, you just wind that bitch up and send it in. You don't know what the hell you took a picture of later.
Right.
Oh my god. But yeah,
you had to wait to get it back.
Yeah, you had to actually.
Kids nowadays don't know the struggle. They don't know the struggle. They're like, oh, I don't like this selfie. Let me take another one. They take 100 pictures. You're like, you know, back in my day,
it's one shot.
You got exactly. You were like, oh my god, I only got 3 more pictures left. All right, let's hope I don't cut off half of my head. There you go.
Oh, you know what? Actually, my other favorite military story was a military wedding.
Oh.
We went to a wedding, and they had disposable cameras at all the tables for the reception. That's the dumbest thing you can do. I'm in the John taking pictures of my butthole, man. Like, like for real.
That's just evil.
We all
won because like you just outed yourself.
It's okay. But I was half drunk. I'm like, guys, listen. That's
whose butthole that is, honey.
I was like, this is the butthole roll. And they're like, what? I was like, I just took a picture of my ass. Hunched over.
That's so horrible.
Now you go do it.
That's
a whole roll.
A whole roll of buttholes. A roll of buttholes.
That's one of my favorite pranks, I guess you call it, at a friend's wedding. Man, that was. I told him later. I I sobered up. I was like, hey, man, one of those rolls you're not going to like.
Well, I'll tell you what, now when they renew their vows, now you could be like, all right, man, look, now I'll take some nice pictures. I got a Mac. I'll edit them.
Photographer.
I'll make it up to you. You know.
Yeah, in the military, you're a psycho, dude.
I'll Photoshop my butthole this time. Don't worry.
I'll download one and send it in, save me the trouble. Oh my god. But yeah, like the military, dude, is such a unique experience where you don't realize how just dumb you are Like you wrote a blank check on your life just in case. You know, like you sign a check. You just don't know. You look back and think, damn, that's crazy. And the shit I saw around this world made me love coming home. I mean, I understand why veterans are so gung ho about the flag and this is America. I get it. But you also got to be real about what fucked up things we do that you also witnessed in the military that happened.
Right.
The exploitation, the empirical fucking flex on people we do. See, I went in during Desert Storm. And, you know, this bombed the shit out of the place for a couple of weeks. And then it got real fucking quiet.
Yeah.
Nobody said boo. Right. There's no Russians flying by us trying to do a buzz to fuck with us. You know, it's crazy, man. But I had great experiences, man. I'm only four, and just to be, not to be only as to devalue these people, but only 4 people died in 4 years. So I consider myself one of the luckiest sons of bitches to serve when I did where I did.
Right.
That was all from one helicopter accident. One accident in 4 years. That was it. One helicopter went down in the ocean, and we never recovered anything. And that's the only time I ever drank coffee. Because we couldn't sleep for 3 days, man. Out there doing search and rescue for 3 days, man. Eat and get back out there and go look.
So you don't drink coffee at all?
No.
Wow.
No, I don't like the taste of it, man.
Interesting.
I'm not a caffeine guy. I can drink I like Dr. Pepper. Like I like pop. But I'm not a coffee guy, man. But
what are you drinking now? This is a good time to plug. What are you drinking right now?
Black Dog Porter. I like it. From a little place called Round Barn Brewery. It was good. That's my one for the night.
Nice.
Thanks for having a drink with me. But yeah, man, I really appreciate your time, brother. I'm gonna chop this thing up. We're gonna have some fun with it. We'll see what Spider-Man does with it, man. We gave him some shit to work with, that's for sure. Yeah, guys. So tomorrow, guys, we have Richard Ojeda showing up for real this time because last time he couldn't make it, he messed up. Richard Ojeda, myself, no use for names, change the system. And is that it? And Richard, yeah. So all veterans, we're all going to come talk about West Virginia, where Joe Manchin's family is profiting in the tunes of millions of dollars from shipping 2,000 jobs at a pharmaceutical company. They're shipping it to India. So 2,000 people in West Virginia, one of the poorest states in the country, is going to have 2,000 jobs leave, and his daughter is going to profit in the tunes of millions of dollars from making that happen. And Richard Ojeda was a state legislature, a state representative in West Virginia. He ran for U.S. Congress as well. Donald Trump came and campaigned against him, like personally. Like that's how cool this guy is. 22-year vet of the Airborne. It's a fucking badass. And he has last time we were going to do it, he gave me his phone number. So I actually interviewed him a couple years back. He's one of those guys. He's like me. He'll just give you his fucking phone. I like you. I don't mind answering your call type of guy. So I texted him, hey, man, Joe Manson's being a dick right now to West Virginia. You want to talk about it? He goes, when and where, son? I was like, Monday, 9 p.m. He goes, hoorah. That's a yes. So he goes, what's the language barriers? I was like, none. No censorship. He goes, out fucking standing. Can I call Joe Manchin a no good GOP whore piece of shit? I'm like, absolutely. He's like, fuck yeah. He goes, I'm looking forward to it, brother. I'm like, all right. So yeah, so we got POTUS today. We got Ojeda tomorrow. And then Tuesday we have Stacy Rutland, who is the one who started basic income movement. And the basic income march is in September. I'll be going to Nashville for 3 days to cover that event. Oh yeah. And she's the boss, man. She's a big deal. I was like, she's cool people too.
I'll be watching.
Yeah. Then Thursday we have the TikTok news with Mute Media and producer Shy. Friday I'm going to be on Fireside Chat with Ariel. It's like a Yang Gang reunion of sorts he wants to do. And then next week same shit, except for Wednesday I'm interviewing Amber, the state of Michigan's veteran affairs people reached out to me because I'm the only veteran that comes up when you do veteran podcaster in Michigan. I came up on the, and she's like, I appreciate you answering. I'm like, yeah, I'm nobody. Like, what's up? You know? But yeah, so she's gonna come on the following week, and we're gonna fucking talk about helping the veterans out here in Michigan. So I think we're doing good shit here, guys, and I really do appreciate your time again to POTUS. But yeah, guys, I appreciate you guys, man. It is 11:22. Holy shit. Oh wow, we've been here for 2 hours. My bad. Yeah. So I have to edit this down like a motherfucker. I got my work cut out for me. All right, man. I'll see you guys later, man. I appreciate you. Oh yeah, go read a book.